Putting out the welcome everyone. I hope you're hearing me. Just putting out a couple of the putting out the word there. Hey, Lord Thought, that's no big deal, dude. I didn't know whether you meant today or not, but man, dude, anytime, any place, brother, you are welcome here. Would love to have you on. I know for sure, as Columba would say, I know you're a busy man. So worry it not, brother. Fear not, but whenever you can, I would love to have the chance to hang out with you, buddy. So it is casual, my friend. So whenever you can, this is welcome everyone to Clobberin Time. Clobberin Times. Still, after all this times on YouTube, getting used to saying Clobberin Times instead of Clobberin Time, as I always did for 700 friggin' episodes over at the big BTR, my former platform, former home. The great Eric K's here. All right, man. Well, let me say some hellos. I want to thank everyone who has popped in. This is a new thing for me. Well, kind of new. We did it last Thursday. And a lot of my good buddies are also streaming. I did not know they would be, but I still love them. And I still love them. I hope they still love me. I did not know I'd be conflicted with some of them. But again, they have great channels too. And just depends on what you're doing out there. I want to thank everyone who has popped here tonight. We, of course, the great Latino Slant. My fantastic friend, Paulie. Yo, brother. Always good to see you, my friend. He has, of course, a wonderful channel. By the way, if any of you are X-Files fans, one of the many great things he does on his channel is he has an X-Files watch-along on Thursday nights. And, again, there's a link to his channel in my description below and the link to many other channels of many other wonderful, fantastic YouTube friends. Please check them all out. Please give them a sub and check them all out. I want to thank, of course, the great Lord Thoth for popping in here, my friend. It would be great to hang with you one of these days. It doesn't have to be now, just whenever you can, buddy. I will look forward to it. Hail to the great Steve Mitchum, my great friend, longtime buddy. Also, another great longtime buddy who is here is Charles Mackworth. Hey, buddy. Thank you for popping in, sir. Parrothead, nice to see you. Smart Steve 68, my old chum. All right, buddy. Mark with a C is here. And as I already said, the great Eric K, master of wrenches. Hey, buddy. Man, I'm always appreciate seeing you, my friend. Positive Candor. May all your candor be positive, my friend. Who else popped in on me unannounced there that I didn't see that I'm trying to announce? I may have gotten everyone. I hope I did. Look at everyone as they come in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That good buddy. He does the show with our good buddy, 32 Flavors. The most beautiful lurker in the universe. The wonderful Raquel Briggs, also my partner in crime, my first officer on the Starship Clobberin Times on Saturday nights. And this Saturday night, we will have more Star Trek for you in our continuing mission to boldly review every single second of Star Trek. That means real Star Trek, except no substitutes. And that means 1966 through 2005. That's right, folks. Star Trek, the original series. Star Trek, the animated series. Star Trek, the Next Generation. Star Trek films. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Star Trek Voyager. Star Trek Enterprise. The end. And that's a lot of reviewing there, folks. And Raquel is the one to get it done. And she is fantastic. Thank you for being here, my wonderful friend. I hope you are having a great day. I hope you are all having a great day. And a big shout out to my other friends who are out there streaming right now. Noel, glad you're back on, man. I did not know Noel will be back on there. Well, Lord Thoth says when you do Mira, I'll make sure I'm there. You know, man, Mira is my all-time favorite episode. I don't know if it's anyone else's favorite, but man, it is my favorite, buddy. Yeah, so that's fantastic. Yeah, I guess I'm being heard since you're not. None of you are telling me I'm not. See, I'm just used to the old days before text ran out on me when you used to sound check me and say 5 by 5. So I'm always just take it for granted that I'm being heard. But I guess I am. Yeah, I forgot that I can sound check myself. I'm such an idiot. Star Trekking across the universe. On the Starship Enterprise. Hey, you remember that song, don't you? All right, anyway. Well, yes, I've decided to do an early day a week now because, Well, we got again. Even though a lot of my buddies across the pond, who are great and wonderful friends, well, that is no truer words were never spoken by my good friend Steve Mitchum. Mike should be heard and not seen. Being heard's bad enough, and I can't stand to hear myself. By the way, I hate my goddamn voice. I'll be honest with you, but I hate my visage even more. So yeah, better the less looking at me, the better for all of humankind. That's why I hide myself away and not let anybody see me because, well, what have they done to me? So anyway, yeah, it's true. You were correct, Steve. You're not getting an argument on me, buddy. You know that. Parrothead. He said, "We're boomer if your mic was muted." No, not muted, but it used to be kind of a thing on BTR. It's not as much here, but I got kind of used to it. Like it kind of, it was iffy on the sound sometimes. And there were plenty of times we everything seemed normal on our end and the sound wasn't going through. No, hey, no, it's true. You weren't joking, man. It's true. We know it, man. Look, I'm a realist, bro. You know me, buddy. But I love seeing you here, man. I'm glad you're here, brother. So yes, like I said, I just started doing this this daytime on Thursday thing just because I got a lot of our great friends that like to join me that have joined me that were from across the pond, and it's very late over there. But of course, some of them are streaming at night as well. But what the hell? I thought I'd have it's kind of fun doing an early day stream, getting it done because there was nothing else to do today anyway. At least for me anyway. I don't know. So doing a stream with heartburn though was not fun. Oh, my mom made spaghetti last night, and I'm had the leftovers today, and heartburn. You don't want heartburn, you don't eat the damn spaghetti. Dumbass. That's it. The way it works. Well, I hope everyone out there is having a wonderful Tuesday. I know a lot of us, even though it's a work day, but a lot of people are locked down. So I don't know what you're all up to. Just getting a lot of you work from home, of course. And I just hope you're having a great time. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one there. I'm a fanatical classic Trek fan, and you guys have been hitting. Oh, you're too kind, Lord Thoth. Thank you. It's all Raquel. I'm doing nothing. I'm sitting there and basking in her brilliance. She's fantastic. I sit there. In fact, I thought I was horribly off my game, especially this past week. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I'm going to step it up and try to remember to do better. But she was just fantastic, and I love the way she brings the facts. But she's also a lot of fun to talk to and stuff. She's just an amazing individual, and we're all way too lucky to have her here trekking with us. But I appreciate that so much, Lord Thoth. Yeah, just I too, and I think Raquel and I both are just we dearly love Star Trek, especially the original series, and we love talking about it. But that's geekness for you. Geeks are geeks because they not only love something, but they love talking about it with others. Oh, well, thank you, Mark with a C. I really appreciate that. I had a lot of fun last night on my open show with my good old buddy who ran with me all the time on BTR. Flash hung with me last night, and then Mark C came in for a while, and we just talked a little bit about. If you missed it, we had a lot of fun talking about nothing. In other words, we were just sitting in nothingness, but we were talking about comic book shops, and that was a lot of fun. Yes, she is fantastic. Plus, she likes my favorite alien race, Andorians. I don't know. Let's see, Raquel. Hey, very smart, just doesn't quite cover it. She's a goddamn genius. And we love her. Raquel is Captain, Admiral, and Clobberin. Yeah, and she's number one, but she really should outrank me. She's the Admiral. I'd call her Admiral, but she likes being the first officer. Yes, exactly. We do. You're right, Raquel. We make a fantastic team, and we have so much fun. You're the best. And again, you make my millennium. So you're the best there. And yeah, she's just amazing. And yes, Andorians, I've never really thought about that, Lord Thoth. I don't know if I have a favorite Star Trek race. Would it make me a racist to have a favorite Star Trek race? I don't know. I'm just kidding. But I do like, I like Andorians. We didn't see much from Andorians really until Enterprise. We, at all. I mean, you didn't get a lot of Andorians anywhere in terms of the shows and stuff. And then on Enterprise, they just did a marvelous job with the Andorians, in particular the great Jeffrey Combs. And I guess it's proper that we talk about Enterprise because just the other day, the Enterprise hit 20 years. This is still, to me, the 20th anniversary of Star Trek Enterprise. So I'm glad you brought it up, or one of us did. Jeffrey Combs was terrific as Shran. I love Shran. And all the stuff they did with the Andorians was really great on there. And the Enar and all that stuff. The great Canadian Spider-Man does whatever Canadian Spider can. I appreciate you popping in here, my brother. Yeah, in Journey to Babel, we get one Andorian. You always forget that actor's name that plays him. That guy's been in a lot of stuff. But then remember, one of the Andorians was really an Orion. But aside from that, you don't get him that much. I think there was an Andorian in Whom Gods Destroy, but I don't think he got to do that much. So I'm just saying you didn't really get a lot from Andorians. And it's curious. I don't know why I guess they just never thought about it, never thought of it until Enterprise. I don't know. But it was cool. And again, it was really a nice job they did with them on Enterprise. And yes, 20 years, like we were talking about last night. I know my buddy Charlie's a big Enterprise fan. Fried bacon. Still here. I can't believe it's 20 years. We talked a little bit about this last night. Since Broken Bow. But man, I'm one of the ones that watched it from the beginning. My bud Charlie, and I think Bud Charlie, he caught it later. And he didn't like it at first, and he's become a huge fan. And so I'll tell you, in those early years of the 2000s, where on StarTrek.com, because I talked a little bit about this last night. Oh yeah, that's true. Gamesters Triskelion. Good call, Lord Thoth. There. Threats are illogical, Steve Mitchum, and payment is usually expensive. So, we talked a little bit about it last night when someone had asked, when I mentioned how horribly maligned and poorly treated Enterprise has been over the years. Someone asked, really, has it really been that bad? It's been that bad. It's still the redheaded stepchild of real Star Trek. It's abused even by some people that I love dearly. Don't like it, trash it, and don't respect it. I'm looking at you, my old buddy Doomcock. I love my buddy Doomcock, but he's not nice to it at all. Almost every other time I tune into his wonderful Friday Night Frolics, which you should all go to, by the way, because he's great and I love him. He takes his stabs at Enterprise, which is fine. But I don't think he's watched it in a long time either. There's a Canadian Spider-Man. Thanks for doing the stream, Clobberin Times. It's hard not to have Andorians as my favorite after seeing Raquel Briggs in cosplay. Yes. Well, Raquel could definitely make you an Andorian fan if you weren't already. She is wonderful. She has other cosplays, but that is, of course, that and all of her cosplays are wonderful. No question about it. But yes, those early days. No, Lord Thoth. It is a figure of speech. Maybe people shouldn't say redheaded stepchild. Just it's a habit. It's a figure of speech. And by the way, when it comes to dudes, redhead doesn't mean anything to me. But I am a big fan of the redhead ladies. I am a redhead freak of the ladies. I can't lie to you. I just love me some redheads. I am. Yep, it's the truth, man. Enterprise is probably my favorite of the series, next to an original series. For Canadian Spider-Man, that might be the case for me too. I might love it, and maybe my second favorite is also. I mean, I really, really do love Deep Space Nine now, but uh, but in those message boards on StarTrek.com, there was an Enterprise message board I remember, and I used to go to it. And yeah, obviously there were Enterprise fans there, and we talked about it. There was a special board for every series and such. And I would there was this one, and there were obviously people who didn't like it on there, but there was this one dude in particular. God, I'm drawing a blank on his stupid moniker that he used on there. This guy, His Honor, I think he called himself His Honor the King or some kind of crap like that. This Jagoff hated Enterprise. Now, by the way, if all opinions are fine. If you hate it, fine. You love it, fine. Again, all kinds of things that I hate myself. So, again, I'm not saying the opinion wasn't welcome. You can hate anything you want. At this point, this was around somewhere around the fourth season. This guy in other words, it's fine that he hates it, but you could not have a conversation thread about Enterprise without him being in there heckling you. If you, like, for example, talked about the latest episode, that I like this or I don't like this or whatever, he would come in and say it's a piece of crap and destroy it and go after it. I'm like, yeah, we get it. You hate the show. We're fine, but we're just, and he would bring up a non sequitur. It's always something that had nothing to do with what we were talking about, just so he could trash it. And then be like, look, we get that you hate it, man. Go see a doctor. Because you have a serious problem. And show us where on the doll that Star Trek Enterprise touched you. You little fruit blue piece of crap scumbag. Because he was real jerk off. So, but again, you can hate anything. But Jesus, this dude was all over everyone. So, to the point where he made everybody hate him. And people would actually ask him sometimes, well, look, generally, if you hate something, why keep watching it? And what I mean by that is this. Sure, if you don't like a show, but you want to give it a shot, I get giving it a shot. Let's say you watch a handful of episodes and you don't think it's a good show, but you stick around a little bit to see if it gets better. But for me personally, we're all different. But, 4, 5, 6 episodes into something, if I'm not having a good time, if I'm not liking the show, I'll generally tap out. It doesn't even take that long. And let's just take a show that say there's a show I really can't stand, that I just watched it enough and just really don't like it. If we get into conversation about it, I'll tell you what I think. But here's what I don't do. Look, and if it comes up in conversation, I'll say, yeah, that show sucks and this is why. And but I'll tell you what I don't do. Chances are that show that I think sucks probably has a message board somewhere or a fan page or whatever. There are always people that like it, no matter what you and I think about it. I don't go to that show and make it my life's mission to go on to where the fans are enjoying it and talking about it and just shit all over it all day long. You can find better things to do with your time. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm just using any show as an example that I think sucks. I hate P Hard and I hate STD. Those are filth to me. And I still don't go into those groups where people like that shit. Now, and they bring it up to me, I'll tell you what I think about it. As much as I hate them, I don't go to, if there's a group out there for P Hard. Oh, don't worry about that, Raquel. Just lovely to have you here, my friend. That's okay. We love you and enjoy lunch. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, Smart Steve, you're either vested after a good while or not. All I'm saying is this. Even something I cannot tell you how much it's freaking loathe, P Hard and STD. And if it comes up, I'll say what I think about it. I know they have message boards all over StarTrek.com and other places where these people like that garbage. I have no interest in going there every single day to every single thread and attacking everybody that's sitting there, talking about how wonderful it is. I don't get it, why they like it. But they can, what do you get from that? What are you going to accomplish? They're just going to call you an a-hole. And you actually, even if they are, even as disgusting as those shows are to me, you are being kind of an a-hole. Yeah, I mean, I think those things are disgusting, those shows. They make me sick, and I still don't go seek out their stupid fan pages. So this guy, I get it. And by the way, these were different times. It wasn't like Star Trek was being run through the mud and being completely and utterly disgraced and humiliated like STD, like the Jar Jar Abrams filthy movies, like Lower Decks and P. Hard do. It's just a show that was not that somebody didn't like very much. They didn't like it because it didn't fit into the canon for them, and they just hated it. Got no problem with the guy hating it. I just think after a while, I go, look, dude, you're putting yourself through this. You're watching every episode, and it clearly pisses you off every week. Dude, I mean, look, we get you. It's cool to not like it, and it's good, to criticize it. But is somebody paying you to? I mean, is this like your job or something? Is this your job to criticize the show? Are you a TV critic? No, I just hate it. There are individuals that get off effing with people in not a good way. Yes. And again, he's not fighting a holy war. It's just a Trek iteration that he doesn't like. The other ones are not Trek at all. And I mean, Enterprise, whether you like it or not, and even if you don't like the way it fits into the canon, which we've had that discussion, it's not the Abrams filth. It's not the STD or Picard or Lower Decks, which are absolute insults to Star Trek. No one can. You can make a case all day long why you don't like Enterprise, and go, okay, you're not into it. That's cool. You can't make a case for those shows. Those are crap. Fried shrimp. Oh, Eric. Well, you're talking. I'm the only jackass in Louisiana that doesn't like shrimp, but I hear you, man. They all love it down here. But anyway, I don't know where. But Enterprise. So I guess what I meant by all that is Enterprise has taken a pounding. You almost can never go, let's say, to a chat room on somebody's great channel where they're talking about Star Trek in general. Enterprise comes up, you'll see, even if someone who likes it, like let's say the YouTuber is praising it, they like it. If it's a busy chat, a real big chat, like it's Gary's chat or Doomcock's chat or whatever, you'll see 10 people come up. There are people who like it, but you'll see 4, 5, 6, 10, whatever, will hate it. Enterprise sucks. It's the worst. Or now that we have STD, they'll say stuff like, well, that show's so bad, it makes Enterprise look good. Again, I want to make the point. People are entitled to their opinions, and it's fine. It does get a little tiresome after a while because I don't think the people who trash Enterprise are being fair to it. It's fine if you don't like it, but they're usually people, I guarantee you most of them are people who watched it once or twice back when it first came on and have never really given it that much of a look. You don't attack the other fan if they actually love the characters in the show, if it's objectively horrible. Yeah, well, that's absolutely right. The Orville is not only. I mean, it is Trek. Really, right now, the Orville is the substitute for Star Trek right now. STD and Big Turd and LSD. Yep, absolutely, buddy. Steve Mitchum, you are well aware that I don't like shrimp, buddy. You're well aware of it, brother. I mean, I like some fish, but I'm not a seafood guy. I don't eat bugs. This isn't an Indiana Jones film. So Enterprise, again, you just can't go anywhere without seeing people not. I mean, even again, if there's 50 people who are Star Trek fans, I pretty much guarantee you. Let's say you got 50 people in the room, all who have an opinion on Enterprise. You're lucky if 50% of them like the show. It's until all this filthy remake trash started in 2009 and stuff, or until Enterprise was unjustly canceled. It was the most divisive of the shows, undeservedly so. It's a great show with great characters. And by the way, I'm capable of admitting multiple things can be true at the same time. I don't think it was necessarily the best idea to do a prequel that takes place 100 years before Kirk. I'll stand by that. It was not the decision to make, in my opinion. Maybe like a special film or I remember a mini series or something like that showing the beginnings of Starfleet or something, and would have been one thing. So nevertheless, I still have to be fair and honest and be honest about what I watch if I'm going to watch it. And when I watch it, I can't sit there and go, well, this takes place 100 years before Kirk, so it sucks. I don't, like I said last night, I was not a Quantum Leap guy. Did not like the show. It's a very popular show. A lot of people loved it. I couldn't stand it. So I went in going, holy shit, the Quantum Leap guy? All right, but yeah. I didn't even want to watch it at first. Like I said, I almost walked out of my house that morning and didn't. And then I walked back in and set the VCR. Remember those VCRs? For the pilot, Broken Bow. And just for the hell, I said, I'll watch it. What the hell? I had no enthusiasm for it whatsoever. By the time the pilot, by the time I watched the first one, Broken Bow, I was all in. I was like, wow. And it was because from get-go, Archer sells me. I really like this character immediately. I forget all that Quantum Leap crap. I forget all the times I made fun of Quantum Leap. Back when I was married in the 80s and 90s when that thing was on. Let's just say I wasn't even my then wife. There were three shows, as I've said before, 3 shows I was not allowed in the room when she was watching it, and Quantum Leap was one of them. So, yeah, the Quantum Leap dude, nah. And then boom, now I love Bakula, I love Archer. They needed a filler series to bridge the lack of visual Star Trek history between Star Trek. Could be, man. Well, all I know is it got me pretty early. And again, another common refrain that you'll hear about Enterprise from not just its critics, from some people who are trying to be sort of maybe a bit of a backhanded compliment, if you will. A lot of people will say, well, I got to admit, Enterprise finally got good in the 4th season. Or it was really, really, I didn't like it early, but man, the 4 seasons, they're really starting to get good, and then they cancel it. I don't agree. Again, unpopular opinion or whatever. I'm doing a whole show about unpopular opinions one of these days. I don't agree. Because I loved it from get-go. I mean, I guess there was a little clunkiness, but the clunkiness was because this was one ship going out on its own. There was no Starfleet. They had no guidebook. You know, Kirk had 100 years of history to study about being a great captain, and he became the greatest captain of all time. But Picard, Sisko, and Janeway, and all these people, there was a lot of history for them to study at a Starfleet academy. There was nothing for Archer. He was out there writing the book on it, and he was making mistakes. And I love that fact that they go out there, they weren't really prepared. They didn't know what they were to expect. They were the pioneers in the covered wagon. And I love that aspect of it. I love the pioneering spirit of Enterprise. I love the fact that they were kind of out there. They were outmatched. They were outgunned a lot of the times. They had no experience, not a lot of experience with alien life and how to handle things. They had their wits, and that was it. As was in the opening in Broken Bow, when Admiral Forrest is talking about for over a century, we've waded ankle deep in the ocean of space. Now it's time to swim. And they had one ship, the first Warp 5 ship. Now, okay, that does, that kind of felt contradictory to some people to the original series, because even in the original series, they mostly, the Enterprise could go, in fact, it could go past Warp 10. Remember, it accidentally did before. So they hadn't really set in stone. So it kind of, some would say, contradicted certain things about the speeds of the ship and all that kind of stuff. And usually Kirk will say, take us out, warp back to 1, Mrs. Spock. They only went warp 1, but all of a sudden we have a warp 5 ship. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. I mean, there are plenty of times when the original series and even Next Gen, all of them, contradicted themselves on many occasions. It just happens. In the original series, from on the show, it was only the 22nd century or so they alluded to. They never actually came out and said it. And then, what's it saying on the posters for Star Trek, the motion picture? A 23rd century Odyssey today. Khan was only supposed to have been asleep 2 centuries. And he, when he left the Earth in the 1996 or whatever. Well, along comes the motion picture. And they're talking 300 years now. Roddenberry and whoever did that. So you're going to say, wow, motion picture, and whether you like the motion picture or not, I love it, but a lot of people don't. Wow, that's contradictory, so I don't count it anymore. And they contradicted themselves all the time. People change things in the writing. They kind of just leave things back. Continuity is impossible to always, maintain and stuff, especially something as loose as a television show. It wasn't like the early DC jumped all over everyone when they got any bit of continuity wrong in a DC comic in the Bronze Age. They didn't do that. Yeah, I mean, minor and so, yeah, I don't mind that there's some problems here and there with some of the quote-unquote contradictions. There you go, 1997. Was it 97? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. My buddy Charles Mackworth met Bakula a few years ago at a con. Super nice guy. Yeah, I love him. Cool, man. No, God is definitely not a Brit, because that movie doesn't count. Into Dumbness doesn't count. So he's definitely not that. He's but that Brit is Sorcerer Supreme and Sherlock, but he's not Khan. How dare you, sir? So, yeah, I mean, there were arguments to be made, like the way the Vulcans were kind of characterized. But, we have a show that we did a few months back, the wonderful Raquel and I did, in Defense of Enterprise, where we addressed all of that stuff. We addressed it all. And that doesn't mean it's going to change anyone's mind. You don't like it, you don't like it. It's my suspicion that people who don't like it may have watched it a couple of times, and some of the things they saw in there ruffled their feathers a little bit. And they've never really gone back to give the show the time of day again as much. Again, it's 20 years now. This is 20 years the show's been around. They may have watched it a couple of times on the network here and there. And they don't know the show the way I do, the way Charlie does, the way Raquel does for sure, and the way a lot of you might. They just said, I thought it was just kind of, I didn't like it. What do you like about it? It was stupid. It just contradicted things. It didn't fit in the canon. All right, well, stretches were made for sure. But this show has wonderful characters. Archer's such a great character. He's the closest to being Kirk-like without actually his mannerisms or his behavior necessarily. He's not doing a Kirk impression at all. But Archer, dude, hey, Archer is a damn the torpedoes kind of guy. I remember in some of the early interviews with Scott Bakula, Jolene Blaylock, and people like that. They always said stuff like, yeah, we want to be more like the original series. They were constantly referring back to the original series, which proves something I've always said. Look, I've got a wonderful, lovely new respect for the other series. I really love, I like Next Generation far better than I used to. I love Deep Space Nine. I respect Voyager more. I like some of it here and there. But nothing will ever be better, in my opinion, and nothing will ever be more ingrained in us as a pop culture phenomenon than the original series. A lot of people really love those other shows. Nothing wrong with that. I love them too. but the original series is the gold. It even proves that when the idiots who tried to remake it in 08, 09, they didn't go. What they do? They didn't try to go another way. They just tried to copy the original series because they knew that that's what people wanted to see, would recognize. Unfortunately, it's a shitty-ass garbage remake that should never have been made, but it just goes to show when they say, hey, what are we going to mine? What are we going to strip mine to try to make our stupid-ass popcorn money grab movie? And they didn't do anything but the original series. They went up the show, because they knew that would be the best shot. And it did, while it did make money a little the one time, it just fell off really quick with their stupid-ass Fast and the Furious with spaceships crap. Let's see here. Was pre-canon? I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. I just love it as a show, man. I don't know what you mean by pre-canon. It's, it was it shoehorned into canon a little bit? Yeah. A little bit, sure. But like I said, the continuity, was never really adhered to that strictly by any of the shows. Yes. What a shame. What a sick, horrible shame we never got a season 5. But yeah, but I understand what my buddy Smart Steve is saying. And by the way, even if you don't like it, that's cool, Smart Steve. Even if you hated it, you're welcome here. Of course, we'll be mean to you. Just kidding. Just kidding, buddy. How the writers address the lack of Starfleet, lack of technology, and general inexperience of the Enterprise crew was really well done, in my opinion. Glad they made it a part of the story. Yeah, I really like that part. Yeah, Smart Steve, we know, bro. We were just messing. But again, as mentioned earlier, the Andorians are really great on there. Raquel has to shuffle the walks. Oh, no, I wish I could help you. I'd be glad to help you do that. So I'll be listening in on my phone, headphones, and shovel. I don't get to sign off, sending all you love. We love you. See you Saturday. Love you, Raquel. Everyone loves you. Big, big love. You are amazing, and everyone sends you the love there, Raquel. Eric K., they had to rush the ending. It was terrible. Trip was done so wrong. You are so right, my friend. That last episode, that last goddamn episode, These Are the Voyages, it was so... I remember, man, I heard some stuff like that. They didn't even have a rap party. Everyone was pissed off by it. I've heard Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes even say stuff like they were kind of uncomfortable with it. And to the credit, see, you can say what you want about Rick Berman. My God, is he 10 billion times better than Alex Klutzman. Like anybody else, he's not above criticism. Like anybody else, he's not perfect. But I think he honored and loved Star Trek. Yes, he tangled with Gene Roddenberry on a lot of stuff. But I think he still cared and loved Star Trek. Hey, Mando Mark, good to see you, buddy. I think he loved Star Trek. And he's come out recently. At one point, he admitted that wasn't the best way to end Enterprise. He's admitted it. And that's a big man of him. And he put the spirit, he always... Whatever stuff he did that Roddenberry may or may not have been fond of if he'd seen it, he always kept the Roddenberry spirit in his Star Trek. And I would love to have him back to have another go and just pick up where Star Trek left off. It won't happen, but, But he did admit that last one, These Are the Voyages, was a mistake. There were a lot of problems with it. Because there were. It was, oh, my God. What they did to Trip was inexcusable. All that crap about the holodeck stuff. The only good scene, I agree, Charlie, absolutely. The only good scene in These Are the Voyages, the final episode of Enterprise, in my opinion, is the stuff with the Federation at the end. Because what they did with Trip, again, the death of Trip's bullshit. They even started doing some novels after that where they ignored that garbage death of Trip, which they should. Trip didn't die that way. But I think they ignored it, or they just went back because that was 10 years later. Maybe they just went back before it and never addressed it. I can't remember which. Sorry. But the stuff with the Federation there at the end was kind of nice, and we're about to get to see Archer's historic speech beginning the Federation. I got my phone going off, folks. God damn you, I forgot to turn my phone down. There you go. But yeah, that was Smart Steve. What's happening, man? I never doubted you for a minute, Smart Steve. I know you like it, brother. And like I said, even if you didn't, man, it wouldn't matter. But yeah, I wanted to see that friggin' speech. And then they cut off from it. Then the ending was kind of cool there with the ships and the voiceovers from Kirk and Picard and Archer. But Jesus Christ, it was... Yeah. Well, the thing is, they didn't really have to touch the... I don't know even why they had to bother with that with the books, because that crap that happened in These Are the Voyages was 10 years later anyway from the previous episode. Terra Prime. Relationship on screen and off screen between Trip and Archer and Reed seemed to remind me a bit of Kirk, Spock, McCoy type thing. Very appealing. It was almost like that sort of between Archer and Trip and T'Pol as well. Again, they had, like a lot of the Trek series, they had good relationships between characters. Of course, Archer and Trip, old buddies. Trip and Malcolm, that was a well-developed, great friendship. You can say what you want about the Trip T'Pol relationship. I liked it. Archer T'Pol was a great relationship as well. I mean, I really loved it when it had only been now, I guess, was it maybe first or second season? I think it was first season, but it may be second. If I could be getting that wrong, it could be second. Where we all know how Archer felt about Vulcans and his problems with Vulcans, which was always interesting to me and well done. And he was being sent. Was it Saval asked him to go negotiate between him and the Vulcans and the Andorians, and the line where I can't remember if it's second or first season now. Damn it, Ceasefire maybe the episode, and he says when he's going to go down there and he says, well, you're telling me to go down there and bring a Vulcan. I'm going to bring the Vulcan, the one Vulcan I trust, and then of course it was T'Pol. And T'Pol, I just love her. I mean, it's funny. She was there as pretty much as a informant in the first episode. She became attached to the humans, and so much so that she did not let them bring her home when they were going into the Expanse. The loyalty she felt toward them, I really love it. Pink skins, always sticking their noses into everything. Oh, dude. Mando Mark, did you get my email last night, man? Just curious. I didn't see you pop in, but I saw it too late. I may have sent it too late, bro. I'm sorry. Let me know. But yeah, I just love this show. I watched it so many times. Again, nothing will ever touch the original series for me, but these characters come close to that for me. And I just don't get all the hate it gets. I don't understand it. I never will understand it. And it gets a snipe. I mean, it almost, like I said, you can't see it mentioned anywhere without somebody taking a shot at it. But anyway, so if you have not watched Star Trek Enterprise in a while, hey, watch it. Give it a chance if you didn't like it before. You might like it again. Now I don't know what all you all think about this, but some things are you change with age and you become more accepting or more appreciative of with your age. I do believe that. But I've been wondering this for a while now. Are shows that, and I think that's part of it, don't get me wrong, but are there things like it's shows or comics or whatever that when you get old, like me especially, but that you didn't like 10, 20, 30 years ago, or you weren't all that susceptible to, you really weren't all that open to, and then you go back to them. Is it because things are so bad now, there's so little good stuff out there, that it comes off as better to you? You like it, it's better because there's so much crap? Or I'm not saying that's not a factor. I'm just saying, I'm asking if that's a factor. Have you ever had that? Is it that, or you're just willing to give something another shot and think? Because there's some things I've had in my life that very few things that I really, really liked that I didn't like much later, but it's happened. But a lot of things I didn't like at all before, and when I went back to it, liked it a whole lot more. That's happened to me way more. I mean, there's some stuff, for example, I can name, I guess, if I thought about it, that I liked a lot at some point, and then went back and saw it, and I was like, I don't know, I don't like this as much. It happens. I mean, obviously, you change. But for me, it's always mostly been the other way, like something I just some things I downright disliked, and later kind of like that now. And there's also the factor of there's some things that I wouldn't give much of a shot before or read it back then, as the case may be. More appreciative of what has come before. Yeah. I'm with you there. So I'm just wondering if anyone else has that sometimes. Are there things that you didn't like, as again, you didn't like it as much, and then you went back, gave it another go, and you're like, wow, is it because things are just so garbage now that this is better? That again, and I'm not saying that is it at all, because that's not fair to whatever it is you're judging. You might just have a different perspective. You get older, you change. I don't understand how anyone doesn't evolve in your philosophies, even your tastes, to an extent. I'm just, and maybe I know everyone doesn't, but I do. I'm weird that way, because there's some things I never liked before that I like better now. And there's also some things, again, that for whatever reason, my sensibilities are like, I don't want to watch that, read that, whatever it is. And then go back, wow, I should have watched it back then. And one example was just last year, I watched Farscape, a show I never would even look at before. Used to see it in commercials all the time. I had buddies of mine who were really into the show. I'm just using this as an example. I'm not going to go off on Farscape here. I'm just using it as an example. And I never watched it much. And I had Muppets. Turned my nose up at it. I was too good for that. I was a Star Trek fan, and I was all into I was into deep science fiction, and I was into, all this other crap. But, and yet I was the same guy talking who loved to watch old Buck Rogers and old Battlestar Galactica. So I don't know what was wrong with me. I just didn't want to look at something with Muppets. I think a lot of people are like that with with Farscape. And then this past year, I've heard so many people talk about it for so long. I said, and again, it was that I had really nothing else to watch. It was right around the Coof starting. Oh yeah, so I turned it on. And it's not Star Trek level stuff for me, or the best of Doctor Who or anything like that. But I really, really enjoyed it. I like Stargate. I'm sorry, not Stargate, Farscape. I get it mixed up. I'm going to try to do that with Stargate. I have not watched that much yet, only a little bit of it. Farscape, though, really enjoyed it. Is it something I would watch a million times over and over again? I don't know. I don't think so, but one day I'd probably watch it again. Let's see here. I appreciate the first FF with Evans, Alba, Chiklis, and Grafud, or whatever. I can't remember how to pronounce his name either. Grafud. After that crap they made Fan Four Stick. I will, and sometimes that, if something is really horrible, Eric, that can have an effect too, though. Like if you have something as horrific trash, like Fan Four Stick, those movies I think are kind of abysmal in a lot of ways. Those Sony FF movies, but they are Orson Welles material compared to Fan Four Stick. I think people are talking about appreciating the older stuff more than ever. Recent entertainment might take the old stuff, it might make the old stuff seem better, more imagination and less preachy, better writing. That is absolutely true. But it doesn't mean they were bad before and they're just better by those standards either. I think people are just giving them more of a chance. Or yes, they are seeing them through a modern day lens, and since that's the fault of modern entertainment, though. That's not the fault of that old stuff. But that's true. That is absolutely true. But is that, or is that stuff that just stands out more when you measure it up against something really bad? Like when you watch, if you could sit through a fucking episode of P Hard, take an episode of P Hard or STD, how unbelievably disgusting and horrible the writing is, how bad the characterization, bastardization is. I almost used the R word, characterization, grape. The bastardization of character, the preachy crap, all that stuff, the horrible histrionics in the acting, everything, just the unimaginative crap plots. And you just watch one episode of that, then you watch an average to above average episode of the original series, or Deep Space Nine, or X-Gen, or whatever, or Enterprise. And it's just night and day. Just night and day. I mean, it's just because when you watch that old one, whether it is, I mean, whether it's Obsession or Wolf in the Fold or, the Inner Lighter, Yesterday's Enterprise, or The Best of Both Worlds, or Hard Time, or In the Pale Moonlight, I'm picking some, great, or Trials and Tribulations, or Dear Doctor, or The Co-Janitor, or The Cindy, whatever the episode happens to be of those old shows, up against any of one of these new horrible things that they're calling Star Trek these days. It's just, I mean, they were already good on their own. Don't get me wrong. They were great on their own. But I guess if you're one of those who's forcing yourself to review STD or what have you, and P Hard and Lower Decks, whatever it is, and then you turn on an episode of one of these, you go, oh my God, it's just, but that's such a stark contrast. It's almost not fair. I mean, if you just take anything modern that they're writing, if you watch any new stuff now, with the exception of Cobra Kai, which is so great. But anytime I watch anything old now, that is and it's sad. It is the first thing that comes to mind, though. I'll watch an old episode, not just of those shows, of Trek, but a lot of old shows. Great shows. Great shows like Have Gun Will Travel, The Rockford Files. I mean, go to whatever genre you want to go to. Columbo. Or if you want to go to Batman animated series, whatever it is, something older that is written for one reason only, to be art, to be entertainment, to be entertaining, to write good characters and good stories. And that was the only agenda behind it. Whereas you watch this new crap, and it's agenda. And so perhaps those things are enhanced, but if they are, it's because of the idiots who write the trash that is being made today. Cobra Kai is a great exception. Cobra Kai is not preaching to you. Cobra Kai is trying to be a fresh take on an old, franchise, if you can call it that, from the 80s. The wonderful, beautiful Purple Valkyrie. Oh my goodness. Thank you for popping in. You guys had fun. I was watching that game you guys were playing earlier. It looks like it was fun. I was there watching. Oh, great stuff. I think that the reason the old stuff was better, well, it was better written, is because those older generations grew up reading the classics, Dickens, Shakespeare, Hemingway. Newer generation grew up reading, well, they grew up reading bad, they wrote comic books, but I don't even know if they even read comics that much. But you're right, absolutely right, Steve Mitchum. They didn't read any of that stuff other than comic books, and some of them I doubt even read that. But that is a wonderful point, and it's a perfect point. Absolutely. They don't give a shit. I used to think that it was my fault if I didn't like or understand a movie. If I couldn't follow the plot, it must be my fault. I never thought big Hollywood writers would be that bad. Well, Canadian Spider-Man, I hear you. That's absolutely right. Darth Haster, thanks for popping in, buddy. I'm so happy to see you, Purple. What you doing? Fat Steven Seagal, what's up, man? It is my fault. I don't know what's my fault, but it is my fault. If it's happening here, it's my freaking fault. You know what else is my fault? My heartburn that I keep having. I need some water. See? My heartburn is definitely my damn heartburn. So, yes, basically, I've just concluded. Happy anniversary, in a roundabout way, as we got around Enterprise, 20 years. Love it. It's sad that had to be end of Star Trek. It really is. The end of real Star Trek. But hey, like I said, every Saturday night, as I mentioned earlier, the wonderful Raquel and I will be reviewing all of Star Trek. And we'll have 4 more episodes reviewed this coming Saturday night as we do original series. So, and incidentally on that, I just got a new book that I'm just now cracked open. I'm really enjoying about the original series called Star Trek. These are the Voyages, season 1. I got the season 1 book. I'm going to get the other ones, of course. Wow, this book is incredible. It's basically the author, Mark Cushman. He spent like 30-some-odd years getting this thing together, whatever it was, something crazy like that. From Gene Roddenberry's production notes is where this book comes from on each episode. And if you like that sort of thing, reading about the minutia of the everyday production and all kind of other great stuff in there, it's just amazing. I should have got it years ago. I've always heard about it. I've always wanted to get it, and I've heard nothing but praise about it. So I finally got it. It's going to help. So, Purple, what you doing there, Purple? It's so good to see you. You're what have you been? Have you been I thought you guys were playing a game. What was that game you guys were playing? It looked fun. Of course, I don't play video games. I haven't played video games in years. Oh, you have that book as well, Lord Thoth? Cool, man. Let's see. Canadian Spider-Man. Man, is it snowing out? Are you getting snow? It's 50 degrees. It's pretty cold here, too, man. It's 50 degrees, I think. Started watching Discovery. Who thought Michelle Yeoh would want to be part of that horror show? You just started watching it? Darth Hauser, like on purpose? So nobody's pointing a gun at you or offered you like $1 million or anything? God of War. Okay, I got you. Strange New Worlds? Question mark? I don't know what's that. Are you referring to that stupid ass new show they're planning to make called Strange New Worlds? So not by force then. Somebody offered you. I got it. Somebody offered you $1 million. I'd watch. Even I would sit through. I'd probably sit through. I don't know, for $1 million, maybe $2 million. Would I sit through Discovery? I don't know. You have to set a price. Yeah. The old novel compilation, Strange New Worlds. Of course, I have those. I have a bunch of those. And remember Trek: The New Voyages? Oh, and remember Trek? Was it Trek magazine that they put them in they put those in novels as well? All those short stories. Still got a bunch of those, man. Oh, I got you, Purple. Yeah, I was just saying. Well, let me know whenever you want to come. If you ever want to come hang again, because I have fun hanging with you. So whenever you got the free moment, just let me know. The great Chris Pleasure is here. Man, you know, you got it covered when you have the two greatest wrenches in the universe. I mean, I have some great wrenches myself, of course. But I'm talking about, you know, the master wrench of the North and the great wrench of the West, Eric. Eric K. and Chris Persia, man. What a team. You know, if there was a Marvel team up, hell, or a Brave and the Bold team up, or a DC Comics Presents team up, or a Marvel 2-in-1 team up, it would be them. It would be them. Oh, man. All right, well, I talked about Star Trek Enterprise for a while there. Too bad our old buddy Zathras isn't here. I'd like to ask him what he thinks about how Babylon 5 looks. They just dropped Babylon 5, great show, on HBO Max, and they were claiming it's all remastered. Someone said something about it being remastered. Something. It's not true. It's not remastered. I looked at it. It looks better than it did on Amazon, though. At least. So that's something. Rod Thunderheart! Rod Thunderheart was a man. He was a big man. With an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. I'm sorry. No singing, especially not by me. Sorry. Thank you for popping in, Mr. Rod Thunderheart. It is always an honor to have you, my friend. Yes, it's not. They can't. They will never remaster Babylon 5. I wish, and change those old video toaster effects. By the way, those effects don't bother me. People like to criticize them. They're not. Yes, they're the early days of CG. Yes, you can tell they're all video toastery. I don't care. It's a great show. It's a great story. Didi Myers, welcome, sir. Welcome indeed. It's great to see you here, my good friend. Lord Thoth, I love Babylon 5 almost as much as I love Star Trek, the original series. Well, I can respect that. I love Babylon 5. It's a great, great show, man. I can definitely respect you on that, my brother. Hey, my buddy Steve Mitchum, of course, is an animator himself. He started on I'm not knocking the video toaster. I'm saying that, that was maybe like wasn't this Babylon 5 the second show to use that? Didn't Captain Power use that? Wasn't it Captain Power? Because I know Straczynski actually worked on Captain Power. But you can't remaster it. So they say. Now, you guys, I'm no expert on the animated thing and any kind of animation and things like that. They say they can't remaster them. They would have to completely redo all the effects, and that would be too expensive. But, again, the video toaster effects on Babylon 5, they don't bother me in the least. It's the story quality and the characters that I love. And again, it's just like when you watch the original series, Star Trek, the original series, up until about, 2007 or 8 when the remasters were done? I never needed the remastering to be done on the original series. Now, I'm not against it. I don't mind it. As someone who watched the old show way before that 1,000,000 times, it was kind of fun to look at and everything when they did it. I have no problem with it. Some people don't even like them doing it. I don't care. It just didn't need to be done. If you needed that to watch Star Trek, then you didn't need to be watching Star Trek. It was fine the other way. It's fun to watch, but sometimes they made some mistakes with it. But I have no problem with them doing it. But if you're someone that you wouldn't watch Star Trek because of the old effects, I don't know what to tell you. And that's the same thing with Babylon 5. If you can't accept those effects as the product of the time, and yes, the video toaster, I mean, you know it's CG and all that stuff. I don't know. Hey, whatever. It's a great show. I live about 40 minutes away from McKell. We've had snow, but not a monster. Oh, yeah. Wow. See, Rod, for us down here, snow is something that happens on television. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much older I am than you, but I'm way over the 5-decade mark, and we've seen actual snow. I'm talking about where it's significant enough to actually be on the ground and pile up a little bit. Nothing like you guys get by any stretch. Maybe, and I mean maybe, 3 times in my entire life, maybe 4. Now we've seen a few other times where it would a little bit of light, just a little light little snow on the ground, a little bit, but not much, not much, because we're almost close to as south as you can get, until you get into the Gulf. You're getting there, buddy. You're getting that. Less than a week away. We got a birthday coming up for Rod. All right, bro. We will definitely wish you a preemptive happy birthday wish to you, my friend. It snowed in Vegas. I didn't know it snows in Vegas. It's not supposed to snow in Vegas, is it? No. I guess it didn't know. I guess no one got the memo. I'm not a purist. If you could make something better, then do it, except Empire Strikes Back. Well, here's the thing about that, though. In the special with the remasters of Star Trek, reason why I don't mind it is it does not affect the story one iota. So you can have it, you can not have it. I love this thing on these Blu-ray sets that I got now, where you can actually during an episode toggle between the old shot and the new shot. I enjoy it. It's kind of fun. But George Lucas fiddled with the Star Wars movies. He fiddled with things in the story. I didn't need my all-time favorite movie, The Empire Strikes Back, screwed with it all with the effects. It was fine. But it's what he did to elements, chopping lines out, changing the Emperor, and all this other crap. So diddling your own damn movie, that's what Lucas did to his movies. Just changing the effects. Again, you can do it, you can not do it. I'm there. It's Star Trek. I don't need that happening. But if you do it, just don't screw with the story. And they didn't. I mean, they added a ship every now and then. They obviously get new shots of ships. Fine. You know, some pretty effects of planets and stuff like that. That's okay. It's funny turning on TV. Yeah, see, that's that is because Rod, that's more. There's a lot. That's I remember when the last time we had one of those when it actually sort of snowed. I mean, I think it was 2015 or something like that. I forget exactly which, but we had someone who worked at the plant I was working at the time, who was from up north. You know, I think he was from Philly, like a good buddy of mine that we have here, and he was laughing at all of us down there because we were acting like this was a blizzard or something. It was snowy, you know, it was actually snow for a change. You know, it was piling up, but half the city had shut down. And a lot of people weren't going to work. And he's like, you guys are shutting down half the city for this crap? And I go, yeah, but we don't know it. And people is sliding all over the place, like you said. Not me, but a lot of people. I could drive in anything. But yeah, what Lucas did to the special editions, dude. One slight quibble with you, my good friend Canadian Spider-Man. Han shot first. I say he shot only. Han shot first and last and only, Lucas. And how about Lucas, that dickhead, wearing that? I love Lucas, don't get me wrong, but wearing that shirt, Han shot first. Ugh, McClunky. I'm afraid I disagree with you, Smart Steve, sir. I'm going to have to put the dunce cap on you for that one. Nah, Greedo was just a poor shot. Greedo didn't get a shot, buddy. But you know that. Just messing with you, my friend. Oh, shite. Greedo was absolutely murdered. Murdered. He was absolutely fucking murdered. That Rhodian scoundrel was shot by that human scoundrel. I'm sure now that you think about it, some SJW somewhere will work racism into Han Solo shooting Rhodian Greedo. How come no one ever thought about that? So instead of Han shot first, there will be shirts Han was a racist. No, well. Anyway, so in these slim times when it comes to just watching stuff, okay? Now, again, some of us, we're Raquel and I have the fun of being able to enjoy and watch original Trek and review it and stuff. She watches it every year. She tells me, and I love how regimented it is. She watches it in order. I can't. I mean, I'm doing it now because we're reviewing it and stuff. But I've always been. I admit it. I'm extraordinarily undisciplined. Shocker, I know. That I just can watch willy nilly. I can pop any old Trek of any old episode, any series, just on a whim and just throw one on there. One of the things I love about Trek. Watching them in order is fun, though. In prod order. But aside from Trek, and I guess it doesn't have to be Geekness because Cobra Kai is not necessarily a geek show, but it's all. I've only watched it all the way through twice now. What's everybody else watching right now? What do you watch, if anything? Because a lot of people again are indoors. A lot of people are. I mean, what? Even if it's not geek stuff, of course. With me, it's going to be It's going to be usually Geekness. I'm a 12-year-old. I admit it. I'm a geek. I love comics. And I find that the older I get, I regress. The older I get, I need more cartoons. Is that pathetic or what? I've always loved cartoons, don't get me wrong. But I need superhero cartoons in my life for some reason. Even old ones. Well, especially old ones because most of the new ones suckle. So for me, I've been watching some cartoons. Obviously, I don't pay for Disney Plus or HBO Max, but I have the codes to them for accounts from from friends from actually my daughter has accounts for those, and she lets us use her code. So I've been watching some cartoons on those things. My buddy Rod Thunderheart, Outer Limits season 4. I would assume that would be the new Outer Limits show then, because the original series, which I love, that only had 2 seasons. So I'm guessing, obviously, season 4. Okay, that was now. Rod, is that the one that ran on Showtime in the 90s, or when did that one come out? I don't know, because I know there was a new Outer Limits series. I love the original. I've never seen any of the other ones after that I recall anyway. Watching He-Man Master of the Universe. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I'm watching the Incredible Hulk cartoon from the 90s right now, and the old Silver Surfer cartoon again. Okay, 95 to 02. Okay, gotcha. Thanks. I don't know if I ever got to see much of that one, but I knew of it. But yeah, I love the original Outer Limits. God, I love it. I love those first 2 seasons. But I'll have to check out the new one there because I've heard there's some good ones. Watching first season of Cobra Kai, says Canadian Spider-Man. As of last night, looking good so far. Lots of streams from our community and fandom on YouTube. Yeah, it's people are crazy over it, and you know what? Usually hype and hypnosis can be distracting. In this case, it's on point. I love Cobra Kai, and in fact, it's so weird. I mean, I'm sure. Look, other than I've heard SJWs are angry about it, and I'm sure there are people who watch it and go, maybe it's not so good. But everyone I've seen so far talk about it, who said, God, I got sick of everybody railing about Cobra Kai. Oh, so I finally watched it thinking I wouldn't like it and go, my God, it's great. I'm sure there's some people who probably don't, but it's so ridiculous. My mom and dad, whom I love very much, they're in their 80s. They don't like anything I like. I don't like anything they like. I don't watch any of the crap they watch, vice versa. They hate all my geek stuff. They don't like, it's just not for them. And when I recommended Cobra Kai to them, they sort of remembered those Karate Kid movies. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be the first two people on the planet to say that they're going to hate it. And I'm going to watch it all. A few days later, I couldn't believe it. Even my mom and dad loved it. Again, you don't know, none of you know them, so it's tough to give context to that. How unbelievably, ridiculously extraordinary that is to me, I can't even put into words. Or did I already? Wow, contradiction. Thy name is me. Okay, I don't know my name though. Anyway, yes, I am blown away that they love it. Project Story Time. All right, my friend, I'm very pleased to see you, sir. Always a pleasure to have you pop in here. Thank you so much. Let's see, Lord Thoth. No Limits was okay. The original was, yeah, I love, the original Outer Limits. Love. There was only 2 seasons for the original Outer Limits, Steve. Love it, though. Still catch myself looking for He-Man OG Thundercats. Well, there you go. Look, I'm loving some cartoons right now. I'm needing some cartoons. Did anyone watch the Silver Surfer cartoon from the 90s? I just think it's brilliant. Canadian Spider-Man, just watched BSG. Ending was not great. I assume you're referring to the new one, which I have not watched, but many people love. I'm a big fan of the original, and that ending I really liked that ending until even though Galactica 1980, I guess you could definitely say it was the ending, and it was sad what happened to Starbuck. But I'm presuming you mean the new one. I'm going to presume that. I could be wrong. I'm going to assume that. Sorry, I could be wrong. Yeah, I've been watching Cobra Kai since YouTube. Also, Darth Haster, I've watched it twice now. I really do love it. Smart Steve. You crack me up, dude. Outer Limits moved from Monster of the Week to thought-provoking topics like cold fusion, disease outbreak, terrorism, and unexplained monsters. Cool. There you go. Let's see here. Hey, it is criminal what happened to the Silver Surfer cartoon there, Lord Thoth, especially since the second season was going to have the Fantastic Four on it. God damn it. Harlan Ellison wrote an episode of the Silver Surfer cartoon for Fox. That cartoon is beautiful, man. They use a little CG in there, but of course, most of it's the traditional beautiful art for the 2D animation, straight out of Kirby. I mean, it is a thing and a beauty. It's wonderful. It's somber. It's science fiction mixed with a lot of science fantasy, but it's got a lot of science fiction fantasy base to it that cannot be denied. It is just, God damn, it's so good. And every time I watch it, because it's only the 12, 13 episodes, I believe. I always get sad at the end. I'm like, man, like a lot of shows that didn't last long. That's another topic I'm doing soon. Ever seen Outer Limits? More of original. Well, I love the original Twilight Zone Project Storytime. It's great. But I tell you what, if you ever get a chance to watch those first 2 seasons of Outer Limits, it's brilliant. I love it. It's on a level with Twilight Zone, in my opinion, and they're both great. I have not seen the new one, as our buddy Rod Thunderheart has, but he recommends that one as well. So, but if you ever get, all I can say is if you recommend, if you ever get a chance to see those first 2 seasons, Lord Thoth, BSG's 1978 is still the best. Well, I share that opinion. I love it. Look, Battlestar Galactica, the original series, again, is another tragedy that it did not get continued. Wonderful characters. It's not Star Trek level science fiction by any stretch of the imagination. More of a Star Wars vein type, even though, yes, there was a lawsuit between, there's the Star Wars people tried to sue the Galactica people. Didn't work out. And I love Star Wars more, I guess, but I love that first season of the original Battlestar Galactica. I love the cast. It was definitely more of a space western in a sense. It look, not just because of Lauren Green, it was definitely a bonanza in space kind of thing. And I love the characters, love the actors, and love Starbuck on there in particular. And it's a shame it had a big budget. It's a shame it didn't continue because they were going to be bringing in some science fiction writers for the second season. They had a lot of plans to try to go a little more serious and make it a little bit more of a science fiction show, and it just got canceled. Then they realized they kind of did it prematurely. Then we get Galactic in 1980. It just screwed everything up except for the great Return of Starbuck episode that I love. So let's see. The old black and white shows always were thought-provoking because color made the show less stark. Yeah, see, I'm that way too. I got a buddy of mine that likes Night Gallery better than Twilight Zone. I could not disagree more. That Night Gallery is, of course, Night Gallery did scare the shit out of me as a kid. I got to say that. In my opinion, Darth Haster, the Silver Surfer cartoon is definitely worth it. It is. Now, again, the first three-parter of the Origin, which is still really well done, it's only hampered by the fact that they couldn't use the Fantastic Four, and they are kind of integral to the Silver Surfer's origin. Nevertheless, you get past that, it's great. It's beautiful to look at. It's somber. It's very, it's again, the visuals are amazing. It has Thanos. It has a lot of different stuff from the comics. And it was, I loved it. It only lasted a season. It was a science fiction fantasy concept mixed pretty well. It was, God, it was. I love it. I don't know if you would be into it or not, man, but yeah, you might want to give it a shot. It's on the Disney app. I don't know if you have that, but I really do, really love it. You're right, Clobberin. I just finished the 2002 through 2004 BSG. I remember the old 70s BSG. Should probably rewatch those. The robot dog was dumb. Dogs were called Daggets. Well, yeah, the robot dog was dumb, but yeah. But again, it was more. The original Galactica was more of a family show, which is nothing wrong with that, and we loved it. But yeah, it was not hard science fiction per se. Action oriented, family show, kind of a Western thing, but I love it. My third time butterflies even likes Cobra Kai. Watching the Hartnell, Trout, and Doctor Who's. Haven't seen them. Seen a lot of them. Yeah, what little are left of the Hart and Trout. Yeah, I love. Well, of course, I love Doctor Who, and of course, as you know, and it is fun to watch those Hartnell ones. Man, those are just so different. The show changed so much, but they're great, and I love Trouton. Love the Trouton episodes. Wonderful stuff. Project Storytime. Only saw a few episodes of Silver Surfer cartoon, and my mom didn't let me watch the X-Men cartoon. I didn't watch the Spider-Man cartoon. You did? Oh, yeah. If you're probably referring to the Fox Spider-Man cartoon of the 90s, Project Storytime. Yeah, that was a good show. X-Men was, man, that opening of the X-Men's incredible. But if you ever get a chance, I mean, I love Silver Surfer. And the guy who made it, Larry Brody, he's an interesting cat. He talked about it a lot. He said he wanted to make it like the old comic. He wanted to make a serious brooding type of a show, and it was because Silver Surfer, we used to call him the cosmic crybaby. I mean, he did run around crying about something. He was a miserable guy for a reason, and it's a wonderful, tragic type story. But and also, again, visually, it's just beautiful. I can't get enough of the animation. Every couple of years, it just I had a bootleg. I think it's actually legally on DVD in some countries, but not here. I had to pick up a bootleg at a con one time, and now, of course, they got pretty good copies on that Disney Plus there. Catch me watching the Anne Rice movies, Interview with the Vampire, Queen of the Damned. Gotcha. Let's see. What? Get pissed and read the book every time. Darth Halster, yep. Smart Steve. That's because some of the first Doctor's episodes were recorded over later, but a lot of them were destroyed. The first and second Doctor's episodes were destroyed. Smart Steve. Catherine Mary Stewart, Weekend at Bernie's, appeared in an episode where parents could pick and design their babies. Very thought-provoking. I always liked her, by the way. Wasn't that show, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, was that show on Showtime? Was it a Showtime produced show? I can't remember. Read the books, forget the movies, says Eric K. Absolutely. I'm always for that. Funny thing is, says Lord Thoth, watched it live. BSG 78 came on. Yeah, me too. Loved it. It was emergency SWAT, then BSG. Loved that night. You know what also I loved of the original Battlestar Galactica was the Marvel comic book. I had a subscription to that. Let me tell you, especially when Walt Simonson took it over. But even before that, they adapted the movie. They adapted the first episode, Lost Planet of the Gods. I think that was the one. Or the one with the Lords of Cobalt, whichever one that was. And then they did episodes. Excuse me, then they did their own series. And eventually, Walt Simonson wrote and drew it. It only lasted 23 issues, whatever it was. I loved the Battlestar Galactica comic. Loved it. I was so pissed when that thing got canceled. I'm talking about the Marvel one. There have been plenty others after that, but I loved it. Wait, Project Story Time. Never saw Outer Limits. Cancel, Josh. You're canceled, buddy. You're canceled, sir. Rod Thunderhort says they dug deep into sci-fi, going into alternate universes, time travel, AI, conspiracy theories, religious cults, UFOs. Some endings weren't always good endings either. Yeah, okay. Damn. Well, you sold me, dude. If I can ever find it on there, I'll definitely watch it. Hartnell is my favorite doctor. He was the grumpy grandpa. He was the first one. Oh, I'm sorry. He was like the 5 millionth one now. Just kidding. My good buddy Steve Mitchum, as he points out, I remember that now. He was an extra in not intercourse with a vampire, Interview with a Vampire. I would say Intercourse with a Vampire. It's a habit. Fun fact and unpopular opinion, I can't stand Tom Cruise, so I never watched it. Not even for my buddy Steve. Does that put me on the naughty list? Santa. Yes, you're on the naughty list, brother. Yeah, I love that comic, man. I love that comic. Let's see here. Project Story Time. You are not supposed to let it slip that Chris Persia is Santa Claus. Yeah, man. Don't out the dude. What's wrong with you, man? I don't know, Project Story Time. The year's only started, so I suppose you can be rehabilitated if you watch some. Yeah, there could be. You could be uncanceled. Rod Thunder, I love the 90s X-Men cartoon, very well written. I've also got entire 5 seasons, all in seasons of Spider-Man. Yeah, see that X-Men cartoon? And pretty soon, my wonderful retro blasting buddies have a video coming about. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the X-Men cartoon, the one X-Men cartoon, and by one I mean single pilot, one episode called Pride of the X-Men, which was based on a video game or tied into a video game. That preceded the Fox 90s X-Men cartoon. But my good buddy, my buddies at Retro Blasting, Michael French, they have a video coming out on that very soon that I was honored to participate in. But speaking of that X-Men cartoon, Rod Thunderheart, it's very popular. Yes, I love that opening theme, by the way. And so I remember watching it. I had some qualms here and there with some of the ways they adapted certain X-Men stories, but it's a really good show. It was a good cartoon, and it was very popular. Like absolutely. Let's see here. It's all right. I have Mel Gibson confusing everyone at the moment. Oh yeah, I have not. I want to see Fat Man. I can't find it. I gotta find it somewhere. Yes, it was filmed in Vancouver. I guess you mean yes, that it was a Showtime show. And always had rotating stars in it. I can't even list, but just everyone in sci-fi shows appeared in it. Yes, I think that was, like you said, as you mentioned, it was the 90s up until 2002. So, yeah, gotcha. Eris of Chaos, and I figured out on our show set. Yeah, by the way, good. I'm glad you mentioned that. Project Storytime, by the way, if you have if you have a list, do you have a channel? I can't remember if you have one or if not, you're more than welcome to put it in here to link to people to go find. I don't know if you do, but of course, Eris of Chaos, whom you are on Saturdays with, my wonderful friend Eris of Chaos has a channel. And there's a link in the description below to her wonderful channel. If anyone is not, please go subscribe to my dear friend Eris of Chaos when Project Storytime sits in with her a lot on there. The great Mark C. I don't understand the love for the 90s Marvel's cartoons. Everything seems so inferior after watching it. Well, I'm not going to argue with how great the Batman the Animated Series is, but the thing I love just as much is the second season of the Fantastic Four cartoon Marvel series. The other ones I'll kind of give you, but I still like them. They're still okay, but people love them. But it's easy to understand the love, though, Mark. See, the love comes from them being kids when they watched them, man. You should know that. Do I have to tell you everything? Nah, I'm just kidding. Hope you're doing. Hope you're feeling well today, buddy. A digital copy we can watch a party sometime as a live show. A digital copy of what there, but sounds good, but what is it? Fat Steven, what are you referring to, my friend? I can't remember. A digital are you referring to intercourse with a vampire? I did that. But yeah, Mark C. A lot of people do love those cartoons. The great Eric K. comes through in a pinch. Yes, please subscribe to Eris there. Thank you. Channel is up now. Only 2 videos are up. More. Well, I'll definitely try to get a link to that and put it in my and keep it in my description now on and wish you to definitely prosper with that channel, Project Storytime, because he is a great dude and of course he is excellent when he sits in with the Fat Man. Okay, I'm sorry, Steven. I wasn't sure what you were referring to. I'd love to see Fat Man. I think that's what he's referring to. No, it's not on Netflix. But anyway, Project Storytime is a great dude, and he, of course, sits in with my buddy Eris on his channel on Saturday days, which I listen to. Even when they trigger me by talking about Jar Jar Abrams' Trek movies. Ugh. What's wrong with you people? Mark C. Only 92 to 95. X-Men was good. The others of the Marvel Action Hour was sort of inferior. I disagree with you a little bit, Smart Steve, because the Fantastic Four cartoon, first season was horrible. Second season is gold. Wonderful greatness beyond the stars. The second season is, amongst a couple other cartoons, it is my happy place. Except again for the fact there's not enough of it. There you go, Eric K. You the man. Please subscribe to my new friend and my good buddy Project Storytime, if you would. New friend. I mean, we've been paying, but he knows what I mean. His new channel. So yeah, one cartoon I've been watching. Jesus. Look, sometimes it's just fun to watch these goofy old 90s cartoons, even if they are goofy. I go, like a buddy of mine, he texted me today, and he's older than me. He's also too old to be watching cartoons and does it anyway. What did he text? He's watching. I'm sure you all remember. Well, of course, everyone remembers the '60s Spider-Man TV series with that wonderful theme song, which of course I love unconditionally. But in the 80s, right before they did the far more famous Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which as a kid, as a teenager, I didn't like it that much. In fact, Rod Thunderheart mentioned it. And you're right, Club. It's like me growing up with Rocket Robin Hood and the 67 Spider-Man cartoon, both made by the same studio, by the way, which you probably know. He's been watching before Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. There was a Spider-Man cartoon, a solo Spider-Man cartoon. I'm not sure how long it lasted. And he's been watching that on the app. Disney Plus has it. And he just wrote to me, he just watched the one with Captain America. It's corny in places and Cap's ears are blue, but it's still pretty cool. They do a brief retelling of Cap's origin, and the Red Skull is definitely based on Kirby's artwork. I don't remember. I don't think I watched all of that cartoon, so I'll have to watch it. But yes, grown men watching cartoons, folks. Just can't help it. We love them. And I've been watching the Incredible Hulk cartoon from the 90s. Now, my buddy... Oh, let's see. Yeah, I know there's a lot... I know there's a lot of streams going on. I've listened to 2 streams at once a lot, too. And I felt bad that my buddy Noel... I did not know Noel would be on. But, hell, I was not aware of that. Sorry. Because I love my buddy Noel and all my friends over there. The Irish Geek, and there's a link in my description below because Noel's other channel got struck. Unfortunately, he's having trouble with that, which was the TARDIS Zone. But in my description below, Noel's channel is the Irish Geek. That's his other channel. So I'm a big fan and a good buddy of those guys over there, and I hope they're having a great stream as well. What did I miss here? Grew up with those 2, Rod Thunderheart. I wonder how many of those old Spidey cartoons they made from that series. I've always wanted to get that set too. I never could find it cheap enough. Yeah, it depends on what tunes you watched as a kid. Now, my buddy Mark C is a big fan of the old 80s Hulk cartoon, which came around the same time as Amazing Friends. The one where some of you may remember when Hulk would change back into Bruce Banner, his clothes would grow back. Remember that one? Oh, Noel was ran. That's cool. That's cool. Well, we all love Noel here, so that's cool, man. Well, that old Iron Man cartoon that you're remembering actually was from the 60s, Canadian Spider-Man, and was the Marvel superheroes. They had the ones that were just basically cutouts from the, I forget the name of the series now, something Gantry. There were cutouts from the comics, kind of in a sense. Yeah, but those with that great theme songs and stuff. So, yeah, they love the Iron Man cartoon. Clobberin. Eris and I have talked about getting you on the cover of a comic book video. We'll make it. Hey, anytime. I'm always there, always willing. But yes, Incredible Hulk 1982. My buddy Mark C's a fan of. And that was a fun one. But I've been watching that the 90s one. That's true, Chris Berger. Purple Valkyrie is everywhere. She embodies the definition of omnipresent and does. Yes, she's amazing. I love you, Purple. She's probably on like 3 streams right now. She's a man. She does. She wrenches. She does it all. Yes. Okay. There you go. Trillium. Thank you. It was from the 80s, the old Hulk cartoon from 82 that Mark C mentions. Yeah, and again, Hulk. His clothes grow back when he turns back into Bruce Banner. We never could get over that. Yeah, that's true. Purple is a vampire. That's true. We're not supposed. I thought we were not supposed to say that. We're supposed to let her secret out. When Captain America throws his mighty shield, indeed. I'd sing the song for you, but what have you done to me? Right. Well, see, there was Submariner, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, by the way. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. They should maybe they'll eventually put that one on because they got the 90s one on. And as I was saying, I was watching Rod Thunderheart has some good information. Rod Thunderheart says, I have friends in animation and Ralph Bakshi. Yes, Ralph Bakshi did work on the Spider-Man ones. Animated final season of Spider-Man and Rocket Robin Hood. Also, Ralph and crew actually stole final episode edits of a few shows. I guess a few, to finish them in New York. Wow. Bakshi, of course, went on to do, well, a lot of stuff. One of my favorite things Bakshi did, of course, was the late 80s Mighty Mouse cartoon. Zoom, 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 zoom. That Mighty Mouse cartoon was fantastic. It was so hilarious. I love Bakshi's writing Mighty Mouse, the CBS show. which got censored all to hell. Ever loving Hulk. Hulk. Project story time of Vampire Grants. That's exactly where Panda's scared to hell. They couldn't afford to animate him, man. But the 90s, the mid to late 90s Hulk cartoon, The Incredible Hulk. Well, half the season was The Incredible Hulk. Then in the second half of it was The Incredible Hulk and She-Hulk. Anyway, the opening credits are kind of the best thing because it's got a pretty somber theme. It gives Hulk. But, I mean, they have a lot of great... I thought the visuals obviously were done by someone else. The visuals encapsulate almost the whole of Hulk's history in terms of showing all the different baddies and monsters and things he faced. I always liked the opening of the first half of the first season, the opening credits. Lou Ferrigno doing the voice of Hulk kind of doesn't work that well. I love Lou Ferrigno and all that stuff, but you know. Yeah, basically Submariner. He was stronger than a whale. He could swim anywhere. He could breathe underwater or go flying through the air. Yeah. Noble Submariner, Prince of the Deep, Namor of Atlantis. It's the Prince of the Deep. That's right. Here I come to save the day. That's right. And, well, you know, the first Iron Man film with RDJ at the very beginning of the movie in 2008 when I first saw it, like on the first day, first night, whatever. Early on when they're in the scene when he's in the casino and when they're showing, you know, him walking around and stuff, you could hear this music and it's going which of course is based on the old Tony Stark makes you feel he's a cool exec. I'm not going to sing it like the girls said. He's a cool exec with a heart of steel, but as Iron Man, all jets ablaze, he fights and fights with repulsor ways. Amazing armor, Iron Man. The blazing armor, Iron Man. Anyway, they were playing a little jazzed up version of that at the beginning of that film. And for the 3 people on the planet that got it, I'm busting out laughing. And I'm sure I'm going, what is he laughing at? But I was like, oh, I can't believe they did that. That was so cool. Oh, crap. But, and there's the song. Someone actually put the song. Doc Bruce Banner, belted by gamma rays, turned into the Hulk. Ain't he on glamour race? Wrecking the town with the power of a bull. Ain't a monster around. Clown who is as lovable as ever loving Hulk. Hulk. There you go. You asked for it. No, you didn't actually. But on this 90s Hulk cartoon, it's kind of fun to watch. It's goofy stuff. It has a lot of guest appearances so far. I'm not to the end of it yet. Like I said, after the first half of the season, he shares it with She-Hulk. If you're a She-Hulk fan, I'm not. But let's see, he has a Thing Hulk episode. Thor pops up, and it's the second season FF Thor from the great FF cartoon that I love. Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, Iron Man in a really horrible armor. War Machine in a crappy armor. They got Doc Samson, which is cool. Matt Frewer voices the leader. Oh, and Mark Hamill voices Gargoyle. John Vernon is the voice of Thunderbolt Ross. Was it Neil McDonough's the voice of Bruce Banner? Lou Ferrigno's the voice of Hulk. And I haven't watched it all. I'm toward the end of it. And it's just fun to watch. It's goofy stuff, but it's fun, man. It's kind of I don't know. I mean, I'm enjoying it a little bit, just to watch the cartoon, just to watch a superhero cartoon. Just a little bit of fun there. So I've watched Rocket Robin Hood, Genius in a Bottle, and it correctly predicts AI. When you look at it today, it's scary AF. Scary as AF. What they're doing and not seeming to care where this will go. Well, there you go. Leave it to Rocket Robin. I've only seen a little bit of one of the openings for Rocket Robin Hood when you guys in Dupont were talking about it. I'd love to watch that. Anyone see the photos of Scott Bakula, Michael Dorn, and Brent Spiner cooking dinner in a kitchen together? Anyone know what that's about? I don't know. Rocket Robert Hood, Genius in a Bottle, can be found on YouTube. Okay, I'll watch that one, Rod. Cool, I love that stuff. People need to see the old classics and appreciate what came before. Well, you know something about that, Chris Persia? Not to get off on a rant or a tirade. That's been something that has bothered me forever. Oh, and all through life, but just sticking to the geekness of it. I cannot tell you how many times, whether I've been at a comic book shop, con, wherever it was, talking to someone younger who they had no knowledge of what went before. Like they read comics, they like comics. I'll just use comics as an example, but you can use other things. Like it also happened with Star Trek back when the Next Generation was kind of getting popular. A lot of people liked it, and they turned their nose up at the original series, or they were disrespectful to the original series, and you kind of want to say, hey, I don't know. Is Mark with a C is here with us and saying something like his chats aren't showing up. Can anyone check on that? Any of my wonderful mods there? Are you seeing chats from Mark with a C? I noticed I hadn't seen anything from you there, sir. I don't know. I hope nobody's excluding his chats by accident. If you guys could check that out for me, I'd appreciate it. Because Mark with a C, there you are. No, that's Mark C. Mark with a C has been here, and he says his chats aren't showing up. Sorry it took so long to see that there, Mark with a C. Certainly nothing I'm doing. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that, buddy. I did not. I had no clue, man. Nobody would cut you out, brother. We know that. I mean, okay. Fat Steven Seagal informs us that is a YouTube thing. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. They said that's something YouTube's been screwy, I guess. I've had that happen to me before. So, Mark, with the C, if you hear me, buddy, it's not intentional. Naturally, man, we wouldn't do that to you. It's some kind of YouTube gift, but hopefully we can get that straightened out. I'm sorry about that, man. Steve, anytime you want to come on and talk about animation, buddy, open door invite. I would love to. There we go. We got to get the lyrics to all these cartoons. When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and the duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue will come through when Captain America throws his mighty shield. How about Thor? You know that one? Cross the rainbow, bridge of Asgard. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I can't remember. Damn it, I used to know that one. Shit. Mark with a C, we're on it, man. I'm terribly sorry about that, buddy. I do not know. Yeah, no one would do. Yeah, I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't you, Mark with a C. Mark, no one would do that to our bud, Mark with a C. Chris Persia, Rod Thunderheart. You know, I'm thankful. When I was overseas every Sunday morning. They rerun the classic '60s classics from 5 a.m. God, yeah, it was worth getting up for, like so many wonderful cartoons, man. Love it, buddy. But yeah, man. Look, yeah. Oh, by the way, Steve, dude, name the time, man. We need to do it. I do know an animator who looks just like you, so that would be great. Could be copyright. I don't know. What do you mean? I mean, yeah. At the beginning of the show, Mark with the C showed up. Huh. That is puzzling. Well, puzzling, but like Fat Steven says, that does happen. It's happening more and more, he says. So yeah, I mean, again, and like he says, that's happening more. And I think that's happened to me before. I see you, buddy, Mark. We see a gentleman named Mark Ducret. I don't know whose secret identity that is. Hi, maybe my other account works. Well, your other account works, my friend. Sorry about that. That's weird, man, but I'm glad you told me about it. That's messed up stuff there, brother. Friggin' YouTube, man. Where's we? Well, Hulk hates stupid tiny keyboard. Shite. And the thing about cartoons is, man, I would take. Oh no, okay, now I remember where I was. I take good cartoons any day over anime stuff these days. But what things that went before Chris Persia? That's what I was on. I'm bad. I skip all over the place. I lose my train of thought, if you could call it thought. Whether it was Star Trek or comics in particular, how many people have I run into over the years, especially in the 80s and the 90s, comic shops and things like that. And of course, now it's even worse, but where, yes, they love comics, but they were disrespectful to the creators that went before, to the things that went before. They showed no respect for the people, who created these characters that they liked reading comics about the most. An anime tour. They didn't respect the greats. And, it's sort of like, I don't know. If you're in any field or profession, it would just seem to me that you would want to study the greats, and you would want to know about the greats, and you would want to have respect for the greats. I don't care if it's a sport. If you're a quarterback in the NFL, I don't care what era you're in, you should know about Johnny Unitas, and you should know about the greats, many of the greats. You should know Montana and Staubach. You should know as well as you all know. And it's easy to come in now and about the Tom Brady's and the guys you grew up with, but you should know about history too. You should know about the history of the game. And if you're a comic book artist of any kind, whether it's today or it's 5 years ago or 20 years ago, you should know and respect the Kirbys and the Ditkos and the Gil Kanes and the Neil Adams and the John Burns and the George Perez's and any of those people that went way before you and all the things they did. You don't have any respect. If you have no respect for the greats, if you don't have respect for the Siegel and the Schusters and the Finger and the Gardner Fox, Gardner Foxes, yes, even the Millers, the Moores, whomever, anyone who did things that were important works in the medium, then I don't respect you if you don't even know who those people are. And how many times did I meet people? In some cases, they've been reading comics 10 years. They didn't know any of these names, or people. I've run into people who work in the field, a comic book artist or writer or whatever, and they wouldn't know. They know nothing about Jack Kirby, and they know nothing about. They heard Stan Lee's name, but they don't know anything about him. They know nothing about Gil Kane. If they're an artist, and they're drawing comics, they know nothing about these artists. They don't know who Joe Kubert is. Even so, I guess obviously, unless they went to the Joe Kubert school. Just using them as an example. 343. Okay. I'm going back, Rod. I'm sorry. I must have missed something. I miss stuff all the time. Okay. I'm sorry, Rob. Rod, I must have missed that, man. Rod Thunderheart says that a little while back now, he was talking about actually the studio sent police to the airport, I guess, to arrest Bakshi for stealing studio property. They were happy to have. They were happy. They were sure happy to have driven to New York instead of fly, but they finished final few episodes and sent them to air. Sorry, I missed that earlier, bud. Damn. Of course, everyone knows Bakshi did Fritz the Cat. Siegel and Schuster. In other words, know the names. Yes, Bill Everett. That's what if you draw comics, how do you not know any of these names? I don't care how old you are. Or, you know, if you're an author, how do you know not? I mean, again, pick any big, all the big names of the big authors. I don't care what the field is. How do you not know the greats that went before? How do you not appreciate with before? And I'm just right now just speaking in geek terms. How could you if you prefer Deep Space Nine or Voyager, that's fine. But if you didn't even watch the original series, like if you were young and you caught Voyager first, or you caught whatever first, Enterprise or Deep Space Nine, whatever it was, that's fine. Why is somebody making noise on my computer? But so I got messaged. Sorry, I got a noise there. That's fine if you saw those first. But if you came in late to Star Trek you're way after the original series and you watch those others, that's fine. But you need to go back and watch the original. You just do. And if you came to comics late and you want to know about all the greats, go study Kirby and Kubert and Adams, And I'm just, again, sticking kind of in the geek realm. If you're somebody who want to look how bad TV is, you want to know look at great TV creators like Rod Serling and Gene Roddenberry and Patrick McGoohan. Rather than rip them off, try to be like them. Apollomees Minion. Apollomees Minion, it is wonderful to see you. Thank you for popping in. Both hands on the wheels now. I always say that to you because I figure you're driving. You drive everywhere. It is lovely to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. Look, just appreciate what went before. You could like the newer crap if you must. I don't, but liking what you like is fine. But I mean, just show the appreciation. Mark just said on Clobby's next stream, try first with the other account. Sometimes it's just a YouTube glitch. Yeah, that's a weird one. But again, like as Fat Steven had said earlier, Mark, well, see that does happen. I think it's like I said, it happened. I think it's happened to me once. So, but yeah, I just wanted to. Again, this was a nothing. This was just me wanting to kind of test the waters a little bit, like I did last Thursday, and see if anybody was out there. In the early hours, or in some cases of some of my dear friends across the pond, or it's the afternoon hours. Let's see. I think again, if I hope I'm remembering right. Purple, please correct me if I'm not. But tomorrow, am I on with you, you wonderful Valkyries? I think I'm on. If that's the case, I think I will be a guest on there. I wrote it down, so I hope I got it right. Just remind me though. Please remind me at 10 a.m. Central Time on Rise and Shine with the wonderful, beautiful Valkyries. Now, again, if that's changed, please let me know. It's fine. But I remember you mentioning it the other night. So if that is changed, though, anything's changed on that, let me know, and I will adjust accordingly. Little known fact: Joe Shuster's, and people do say it's supposed to be Shuster, is cousin to Frank Shuster of Canadian comedy team Wayne and Really? Wow. Joe Shuster is the Joe Shuster? I say Shuster because I've heard people actually say it. I'm just a habit to say Schuster, but either way, Schuster. That's crazy. Wow. I knew he was from Cleveland, so it wasn't too far from up there. Thanks for that, Rod. Rod Thunderheart. Way to go. Damn, man. I love stuff like that. It's a shame the way he was treated by DC. I'm just gonna keep saying Schuster like I used to until somebody changes it. So Nick Ixnay on the Schuster part. So Wayne and Schuster were funny. I've never heard of them, but damn, man, he was related to Joe Shuster. Wow. So apparently they must be from way back then. Another little known fact: Britt Spiner hated one of his STTNG co-stars. I wonder who. There's the wonderful Purple. Purple, are we? Am I still? Am I right? Am I on tomorrow or whatever? Not that it's a big deal, but I think my stupid memory. You got to remind me of crap. Brett Cohen's here. That sure is, Steve. You're all right about that, sir. Absolutely. Brett Cohen. I humbly disagree as before. The net in the early 80s, Australia, it was hard enough to get info about what was current, let alone old at Clobberin time. I'm not sure what we're disagreeing about, but okay, I'm not sure what you're referring to, my friend, but if you could elaborate. Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks, Purple. I'm just making sure I'm not crazy. Well, I am crazy, but making sure my extremely faulty memory was working in that rare instance. So, again, I humbly disagree as before. The net in the early 80s, Australia, it was hard enough to get info about what was current, let alone old Clobberin times. You know what, Brett? I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to, but if you could elaborate for that from me, I would appreciate it. But I either way, I do appreciate you, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Spiner hated Spot the cat. Like Lord Thus says, working and lurking is a thing of beauty, especially when it's a beauty like a Purple. Okay, thank you. Let's see. About the respecting the olds and what came before. Oh, well. Well, I stand by everything I said about that. You should respect what came before. And as if you remember, I also said it's fine if it's not your favorite or if you like something better that came after it. I'm saying respect what went before, even if it's not your cup of tea, because without what went before, you wouldn't have anything now. In other words, it's perfectly fine if you, which even I don't, but if you like, let's say you like Next Generation better than the original series. People do. I know plenty of people that do. Doesn't matter what I agree with them or not. It's fine. Without the original series, you got no Next Generation. And so so when people, a lot of the times in the 80s, were just disrespecting it and making, and mocking it and, downplaying it in favor of Next Generation, that kind of stuff I didn't like. Same thing with comics. They wouldn't even know what came before them. Now, I understand maybe in other countries you might not have been able to see the older stuff. If you're saying that, yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I understand that. But like I said, it doesn't even have to be the first thing you saw. Let's say, again, for example, you started reading Superman comics in the late 80s or 90s or whatever, just because I didn't like them, that's fine. If you became a Superman fan right there, that's one thing. But to totally not have any respect for the character of the creators before that, that's when I have a problem. Or if you're watching, again, like I said, if you like what you like, I'm just saying that. So I'm not sure I don't think we have any kind of any real disagreement there. If I am interpreting what you're saying correctly. But maybe I'm not. You got to understand, I have a severe learning disability, and I have a very low IQ, so I misunderstand things sometimes. I'm talking Forrest Gump stuff right here. That's me. Life is like a box of chocolates. I mean, boy, I could use a box of chocolates right now that I shouldn't have. Spiner hated Lol, hated her so much, had her die off in the forgotten STD. Yeah. Yes, he did. Pre-internet, Australia was 3 to 4 years behind of any foreign TV. They didn't get STNG until 91, full 4 years after the U.S. release. I did not know that. Wow, that is weird stuff. I did not know that. Funny, I was bouncing in a local bar and literally ID'd his grandnephew, and I asked his funny spelled name and asked if he was Frank Schuster. He said yes. Frank He said yes. Frank was his great uncle. Wow. Damn, dude. Excellent, sir. Oh yeah, that's a shame. You know, of course, she left. She lived a good long while. As Project Storytime points out, R.I.P. Clarice Leachman, um, a very popular actress. She was in my one of my all-time favorite episodes of The Twilight Zone. It's a Good Life with Billy Mumy, and of course, she was on was Mary Tyler Moore or and Rhoda or whatever. Yeah, she was something. In the early '80s, Jack the King Kirby was completely disrespected and nicknamed Jack the Hack, only by jackasses, though. But you're right, man. People get disrespect all the time. He also confirmed his other great uncle, Drew, and co-created Superman. Wow. That's amazing, man. That is really incredible. Thank you, Rod, for that. What's that? Eric K. Oh, we missed Frank Miller's. Frank Miller's birthday was last night. We missed that. Happy birthday, Frank. He's hanging in there because I know Frank's not been in the greatest of health. Whatever you think of Frank Miller, and Mark C and I are going to be talking about this a lot more as time goes on, and we've talked about it a little bit. He left a mark on comics. I have issues with some of the marks he's left on comics. He's also done some great comics. He changed comics. Even before Moore came along, he changed it with his Daredevil. I love his Daredevil, even though he changed that character fundamentally. I love his Daredevil Born Again. It's one of the greatest comics I've ever read, in my opinion. I was not the biggest fan of his Dark Knight Returns or his Batman. I liked his Batman Year One a little bit, although it had a lot of problems. He did a lot of damage to Batman. We kind of talked about that a little bit. He's done a lot of comics I didn't care for, but I met him once and he was really nice to me, and I've always thought he was probably a nice dude. He's done a lot of crazy stuff in comics that I don't like, but he's still a comic book icon. Whatever you think of Frank Miller. So big happy birthday to the great Frank Miller. Hey, Mando. There's Mando again. Mando, you didn't get my email last night, dude? Well, it's no biggie. We'll hook up. I sent you one. I may have sent it late. That's cool, Mando. I'm just glad to see you pop in, my friend. I finally was able to send you an email last night with a link and stuff, but it was later, so you might have had something to do. But dude, it's not a problem. We'll hang, buddy. I'm almost out of here anyway, but I would love to have you on again. It's been a long time since we were able to hang out. But let's see if I missed anything else. Canadian Spider-Man. How did that work? I mean, we were watching ABC, CBS, and NBC with their advertising. That's weird. It was tough times in the 70s in Innes. Only 3 channels and a French channel. Nova Scotia, I would say. Right, Miller. There you go. I've got some cool to this. You know what? Project Storytime, I won't agree. Now, I've liked a lot of his work, but the body of his work, I've got a lot of problems with, especially his art, but a lot of things he's written. But again, it talks about going back to respect some of the pioneers. I have a lot of respect for a lot of things he's done, but no, I have a lot of criticisms of Frank Miller. No question about it. Yes, he's battled cancer. You know, he's been in bad shape. Absolutely. Not a problem, Mando, but I'm just always happy to see you pop in, bud. Not a problem, man. Same as NB. Yeah. Okay, I got you. I was just catching up there. Look, Frank had his faults. Frank did some things that I think led to some bad, both he and Alan Moore. Well, my buddy Mark C and I have talked about this a bit, and I'm going to do some shows about it. Frank Miller has done some things I kind of regret that he did, but he's done some things I love. Like I said, Daredevil Born Again is easily my favorite story he ever did. His Daredevil run before that, I had a lot, was great though. And you got to understand, put some of it in context. Here I was, I mean, when he started his Daredevil run, I could have been, I'm trying to remember, I was like 16, 17. To a 16, 17-year-old kid who loves comics, we'd never seen anything like that in comics. I loved Daredevil before that. The happy-go-lucky, fun-loving Daredevil who hung out and traded barbs with Spider-Man and other Marvel heroes. Well, Miller took him down a dark road, no question about it. It changed comics. You could argue it didn't change them for the better, but it changed the art form. It changed the medium. It changed the market. Right, and that was right when I was going into it, to working in comic shops. Before I owned one, Eric K., by the way, I worked in them. Here you go. I always have to give Eric the opening. But because we love you, buddy. But he changed it. He changed comics. Before even Moore got on Swamp Thing. Before Alan Moore went on the map, Miller did that. There was nothing like it in mainstream comics, I should say. Mainstream, all of comics, really, but mainstream, with his Daredevil. So like him or hate him, what he did was impressive, and is still, even though it may have had a detrimental effect, and it did, I guess. At the time, we didn't think so. A lot of times, you look back, look at the through a historical lens and go, maybe that wasn't such a good idea, but you liked it at the time. Oh, now Purple's going to get on. I see how you are, Purple. I love you. I won't deny Frank has done some great work, but All-Star, see that, I'm so with you. All-Star Batman and Robin is a piece of filth. Oh, don't get me started on that one, buddy. We'll have to talk about it one day. It is true trash. I know there are people that like it. I'm not even big on, I don't like Jim Lee's art much, to be honest, but that's nothing to do with it. It's disgraceful, but you know what? It's still kindergarten compared to his horrible Dark Knight 2. And I can't even tell you anything about Dark Knight 3 because he didn't really do most of those Azzarello. I didn't bother with Dark Knight 3. His Dark Knight 2 is, I have a lot of problems with the original Dark Knight Returns, but his DK2 is one of the worst pieces of shit ever made. I mean, All-Star Batman and Robin is probably a masterpiece next to it. So I'm with you, Project. All-Star Batman and Robin is a steaming pile of horse manure. We should probably review it one day, Mark. See? Frank Miller's done iconic stuff, maybe not all great. Well, absolutely. And again, but he did change the art form and the medium, no question about it. But I hear you. Just wanted to see if he was long on under. Oh, okay. They're going to start running those nasty rumors again. Well, see, Lord Thoth, I couldn't even stand to look at 3. 2 is probably one of the, if I had to pick one of the most unbelievably horrible comic books ever made, I mean, just so outwardly disgusting and stupid and bad, it's probably going to be DK2, because DK3, they can say what they want. Miller didn't have a lot to do with it, and that was Brian Azzarello. I hate Azzarello. I know it's Azzarello. I hate Azzarello. It's a shitbag. I hate Brian Azzarello. He's a scumbag. Punk. He's a punk bitch. But Frank Miller and Sal Buscema had simple yet very impressive style that was powerful. You know, I love Sal Buscema. You got a couple of Sal Buscema fans here with Mark C and myself. I don't consider their styles to be particularly similar, but I know what you're saying. Very simple style. And look, again, Miller, a lot of people don't like it with Klaus Janson. I don't mind Klaus Janson. A lot of people don't like him. But, no, I like Miller's early art, but he changed it big time, too. That's why I was so glad that Mazzucchelli did Born Again. Canadian Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm about to run too, my friend. Thank you so much. Canadian Spider-Man does whatever a Canadian spider can. I always am honored to have you here, my good friend. Thank you. Yep. There's Mark C quoting from All-Star Batman and Robin. I'm the goddamn Batman. Oh, shit. I didn't start that rumor. Oh, let's see. You got a DM for me there? Fat Steven Seagal. Let's see. Let's see what you got here, brother. What's that from, Fat Steven? That's what is that? What is that in relation to, bud? I'll show it. Vigilante Williamson has popped in. What's up, friend? Long time no see. VW. Oh, okay. If you want me to show that, I can show it. Messing around with some art, eh? See, I thought Miller's art really took a turn. I mean, I think my buddy Mark C disagrees with me a little bit. He likes Ronin. I remember when Ronin came out, I was like, oh, God, I didn't like this art style. I think he really started taking his art down a bit. Well, so, yeah, we'll have for a laugh, we'll show something here. That's okay, Vigilante. I never catch mine either. But it's good to see you, bud. I always appreciate it. A couple of things cobbled together. You know something? I love the Storm costume. The art's not too bad. I don't like the way Nightcrawler's looks too much. And wow, look at what the hell is Cyclops wearing? I like the old. I never liked that particular Cyclops outfit with the jacket and stuff, but that's cool art. The art's not bad. Love Storm. Cool stuff, man. Yeah, I know Miller. I just never from different comics. Yeah, I wish I knew how to do that stuff. Fat Steven, of course, is a good buddy, and he's really great at that kind of stuff, man. I appreciate that, bro. Cool stuff. Miller wrote RoboCop 2. Did he write 3 also? I know he wrote 2. I did not know. I wasn't sure whether he wrote 3 or not. But anyway, well, look, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, Mark C had brought that up. Happy birthday yesterday to comic book legend, whether you love him or not, Frank Miller. And again, he's a nice guy. He was really nice to me. I met him right after Dark Knight Returns #2 came out in 1986. And he was really cool with us and stuff like that. Personally, and then this, we talk a lot about unpopular opinions. It's kind of a thing with me. I didn't like his Dark Knight Returns that much. Well, I did love it when it first came out until the 4th issue came out. And if you were buying comics back then in 1986, you know that it took friggin' forever for all 4 issues to come out. And yeah, I know now it's been compiled in I don't use the term graphic novel, in trade paperbacks and hardcovers ad infinitum. At the time, it was a 4-issue miniseries. Okay, wrote 3. Okay, and it friggin' took forever to come out. And we were really excited about the first issue. The art, not so much, but I mean, it was really. I mean, everyone was just going nuts over it. I remember the comic shop that I was dealing with tried to jack the goddamn price up on issue 1 the week it came out. So I said, screw that. I switched to another shop and made good friends. Made one of the greatest friends of my life at that other shop. Never went back. And that was in New Orleans, or outside of New Orleans. But second issue took a little while. Third issue took long, and then the 4th issue, oh my God, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look now. But Jesus Christ, we took forever. And I did not like issue 4. And now when I look back, I don't really like the whole thing that much. And I really just never really could get warm up to the art. Just me. Now, Batman Year One, which again still has a lot of characterization problems that I have major issues with. I love it. The art by Dave Mazzucchelli. I hate some of the things Miller did with I hate what he did with Catwoman. But Miller did add certain things to Batman, whether you like him. And you smart ass Alfred, that's Miller. He started that. Alfred was just kind of a quiet. It wasn't much different from Jarvis and the Avengers. When Jarvis was a person. Badass Jim Gordon, that was Miller. Gordon was just kind of a stuffy old police detective. All of a sudden, in Batman Year One, Jim Gordon's like taking out Green Berets with ease. He's about to fight. Remember, he's fighting Flash, and he says he's a Green Beret. Whatever. So I throw him threw him like a club. He says, I figure he needs an advantage. It's been 10 years since I've taken out a Green Beret. I figure he needs an advantage. So all of a sudden, Jim Gordon's a badass. That's Miller. Fine. I don't think Catwoman should have been a prostitute. But I do like a lot of the story in Dark Knight until the 4th issue. I hate what they did to Superman. I hate some of the over-the-top ridiculous characterization in there. And but I'll tell you what I love. I love this man, Christopher Crockett. What's up, brother? You're my favorite part, buddy. It's good to see you. So, well. Yeah, everybody's a badass all of a sudden. This way it goes. Well, yeah, like I said, I knew Miller wrote RoboCop 2. I was not aware that he'd worked on 3 because I didn't watch 3. He wrote 3. Okay. By the way, he also wrote the comic Terminator, RoboCop crossover with the art by the great Al Williamson. Listen to me, Walt Simonson. Huh. I heard somebody mess up the other day mentioning that confused Simonson with Williamson the other way around, and now I just did it because I heard them do it, and I made fun of them for doing it, so I deserve it. I actually like the animated movie better than because Superman comes off more redeemable. That's actually a pretty good point there, Vigilante. I kind of like the animated 2-parter that they did, the DC animated verse. Also, I didn't mind that one much either. Wasn't that Peter Weller doing Batman's voice? Am I remembering that right? It's been a long time since I watched it. I have it somewhere. But yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, VW. And by the way, there's a link to the great VW, Vigilante Williamson's channel. As I have a lot of links to a lot of friends' channels below. If you have not, please go to VW's channel and subscribe to him. He's got a great channel. He does great streams. He is an awesome dude. He sits on a lot of streams. And please go sub and support his great channel because he's a good pal. And it's always good to see him. But where is I? Oh. And incidentally, also, and we'll get out of here in a second here. Same deal with Fat Steven Seagal. I have a link. I do believe I have the link down in his. And well, again, a lot of great friends channels. And he is one of them. We thank him for the picture he showed us. So, yep, he's down there. Yeah, and I got, again, a lot of links to a lot of great channels. If you are a fan of YouTube streaming and other channels, all kind of great stuff. So. Yeah, gotcha. Lord Thoth, I didn't know you had a channel, brother. If I knew you had a channel, it would be there, buddy. But I didn't. I did not know that. Do you have a channel, my friend? If you have a channel, I would love for people to go subscribe to that channel as well. I did not know that. Well, my friends, I'll tell you what, I have taken up so much of your time. This has been great. I will continue to do this at this time, 3 p.m. Central on Thursdays. Even though I do a lot of night stuff, I'm going to do this daytime thing again on every Thursday, 3 p.m. Central. Coming up, Of course, tomorrow I will be a guest with the wonderful Rise and Shine with the beautiful Valkyries, those lovely ladies, Purple Valkyrie and Samantha Joe. I'm just too honored. Aaron Feliciano, great to see you, my friend. I got you, Lord Thoth. Will keep me posted, buddy. The great Aaron Feliciano's popped in. So please, tomorrow, if you are able, 10 p.m. Central, I'll be on there with the beautiful Rise of the Valkyries. Their channel link, of course, is in my description below. I love you, Purple. Thank you. I can't wait to see you there. And Saturday night, it is Saturday Night Star Trekking with the fantastic and wonderful Raquel Briggs, reviewing all of Star Trek as we are doing, 1966 through 2005, all real Star Trek, every show, including the animated series and movies, all of it in order. We're in the first season now. We're getting close to the end of the first season. Got 4 more to go, 4 every week, 4 every Saturday, giving you all the great info on all these episodes, reviewing all of Star Trek. I just have such a wonderful time with her. So please join us for that Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Listen, I always say Eastern. Please forgive me. 9 p.m. Central. Central. That's 10 Eastern, but 9 p.m. Central. Monday nights is comic book night. I've solidified that. It's Monday night Clobberin comics, comic-related topics. Of course, that is 9 p.m. Central for that. The great Stu and Loki has joined me, and as has Purple. I hope they will again whenever they want. They're wonderful. I love having them. We've talked WandaVision and all kind of other comic stuff and different things like that. I will also, of course, be on the great Valhalla, Loki's Mornings of Mischief channel every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. We're going to be doing it on different channels and stuff. So be wary of that. We're going to move from channel to channel, but we're going to announce it, of course. That's another show devoted to comics and related things. And again, every Wednesday night, open Geek Talk here. And now every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central, I'm going to try to be here to do this one early in the day. So I want to thank you all again. Let's see if I can remember everyone, because my garbage memory. The great Lord Thoth popped in first. Lord Thoth, thank you for coming in, bro. It's always a pleasure. Long live the Legion. And Avon lives. You're the man. The great, wonderful, beautiful Purple Valkyrie of Rise and Shine with the Valkyries is here. Purple, I always appreciate you. Hey, my good buddy Jed Toad. I'm just going to say Jed Toad. My good friend Jed has popped in. Yo, brother. Always good to see you. He has hung out with me before. And by the way, damn straight, Aaron Feliciano has a novel. It is called The Dolphin Wars. Please, if you see that link there, that link is in the chat. Please go check that book out. Follow that link. You'll see links below. You see that link there, rather. Let's see here. The great Eric K. and Chris Persia, the two greatest wrenches in the world. Of course, the great master wrenches. Thank you so much, Chris. Buddy, I always appreciate you. Eric, my friend, I'm always honored to have you. The great Mark with a C, even though he's given his secret identity away, I'm still going to say Mark with a C as well. And, of course, the great Mark C, my good buddy and sometimes partner in crime. He was here with me last night. Also, there's a link in the chat below for my good friend Jed and his channel. Oh, what time is that stream? I forgot, Mark. Jed, you got to help me. I told you need to help me remember, buddy. So, yes, my good friend Jed, please subscribe to his channel. And I will be on his show. Forgot about that. Jed, there's a link in the description below to his channel. And please subscribe to that. And what time is that tomorrow, Jed? Let me know, buddy, because I'm already forgetting stuff. The great Steve Mitchum. Thank you, my great friend, buddy. I always appreciate you being here, my bud. Just Joe will say, Jobber popped in. What's up, man? Jobber, great to see you, buddy. Smart Steve is here as always. And the great Rod Thunderheart. Smart Steve, I appreciate you. Rod, it is always an honor to have you here, my friend, and I appreciate your contributions. You are the man. I really appreciate you. Let's see. I know there are plenty others. You all know how damn forgetful I am. The great Raquel Briggs was here earlier. If she is still Raquel, I love you. Can't wait to Saturday night. You are awesomeness. And I know that's a terrible word to use. Awesomeness is terrible. Vigilante Williamson, my good buddy. Thank you, sir, for popping in. please go to his channel, subscribing, and check it out. He is an awesome dude. Vigilante, V-Dub, I appreciate you being here, sir. The great Chris Crockett, another old friend. And yes, you're getting old, buddy, but I didn't mean old in that way. Is here. Chris Crockett, brother. Thank you. Thanks for popping in, man. It's always a pleasure. My bud, Fat Steven Seagal, of course, great member of the Loki gang. And I appreciate the artwork you showed us there, my friend. He is, of course, please go to his channel and subscribe. He's doing yeoman's work. He's yeoman, no, the Lord's work, in fact, on WandaVision, Easter eggs, and others. He's got his channel just up and running. It's amazing. He is a great pal and extraordinary gentleman, and I appreciate you being here, Fat Steven. Thank you, buddy. Please go check his channel out. Of course, I don't think he's here, but the great Stone Loki, who made my intro, outro, always go to Stone Loki. Again, links in the chat below. Follow all those links. The great Eras, the great Retro Blasting, all those wonderful people down there. Project Storytime was here. Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you. Mando Merck was here. Thank you, Mando, for popping in. If you're still listening, I appreciate you, buddy. Canadian Spider-Man, who does whatever a Canadian spider can, was here. He, of course, thank you. I know he had to run. I think he had to run out. Again, I hope I covered everyone. And, of course, a big shout-out to Dee Myers. There you go. Thank you, Dee Myers, and thank you for that sub to Jed. Please help Jed out there. Yep, there you go at 50, Jed. You'll get there, bro. You get there, man. Big shout-out to other friends who are streaming out there as well. I know I didn't realize it, Jed, but I know that Noel was streaming, our good buddy. There's a link to Noel's channel because he's had some problems. My good friend Noel of the TARDIS Zone has been really unjustly, horribly treated by the idiots at YouTube and stuff. So he has a secondary channel. He has, and which I have a link in my chat below. That's the Irish Geek. And let's all help him out. I think he's either still streaming now or he was. Either way, we love Noel and all that great gang over there, Problem Bing and all those cool people, PD Rich and all those people over there. They're good friends. And let's please help them out as well. Let's help support them and fight against this crap this garbage that people like YouTube do to them. It sucks. It's wrong, and it's a damn shame. And Noel's a good dude, and we're friends with all those people over there. Yes, we love Probby. You gotta love the Probby. I haven't seen him in a while. I need to get that. I want that boy to come on here, but obviously he's probably busy. But Probby, if you're out there, man, and anyone else who has listened that lurked, because I lurk sometimes if I'm doing something, don't have a chance to get into the chat or whatever. I like to lurk and listen to a lot of people's channels and stuff. So anyone who does that, because I can't blame you. Sometimes I listen on the road where I can't get into a chat. If you're lurking and listening, I appreciate you. I hope you hit the like button, or if you didn't like it, hit the unlike. That's cool, and it's it's fine either way. I wouldn't blame you. I don't like this. I don't like my show either. But if either way, I appreciate you all. So Noel finished already. Gotcha. Okay. Lee can disappear sometimes. Well, if you get to Lee, you get to Probby, let me know. Thank you. Let's see. Lord Thoth, my good buddy Lord Thoth, you got to come on with me soon, buddy. Wants to start doing videos with the two of us. I'm a geek. She's the princess. Hey, man, I'll watch him. Let me know. Keep me posted on that. Again, Lord Thoth, dude, we're gonna do it soon, man. You got to come on, talk some Legion and other stuff. RN, let me know when if you ever get times in the daytime or a late night or whatever. Because RN Feliciano, I hadn't talked to you in a long time either. There's so much. It just doesn't seem to be enough time or anything anymore. But I want to talk to everybody, and that's my problem. I want to talk too much, as you can all tell, and I want to talk to everybody. Not that everybody wants to talk to me. We of course that's just a given. So, thank you all again. Appreciate you. Love you. Big love, and I will see you all out there tomorrow. Please check us out on Rise of the Valkyries, as I said, and 10 a.m. Eastern. And Jed, you're going to have to let me know what time. Sometime on Jed's channel tomorrow, if we're doing that. If we're doing it, okay, cool. Just keep me posted, brother. You know me. You know my stupid memory. So, all right, everyone. Have a great night. Take care all.